You're about to listen to TADPOG. Tyler and Dave play old games. It's a comedy video game podcast. We would like to stress that the hosts are not experts and are really just very crass commentators. Seriously, this is an explicit podcast that happens to talk about video games sometimes. So please enjoy this pretty okay podcast with Tyler and Dave.
Hello, Internet. And hey, welcome. Hey, man. Hey, whoa, man. It's good to see you.
Whoa, man.
Whoa, man. Yeah, come on. Hey, let's hang out. Sit down. Let's talk. Let's hang out. You know, it's just Tyler and Dave and Ian playing old games. Literally this week, courtesy of the randomizer, the incredible Crash. It's so hard not to say Crash Test Dummies.
I know.
It's very hard.
It's weird, isn't it? There's a story behind it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why it's incredible Crash Dummies.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because I feel like, is that a Berenstain Bear sort of thing?
No, they both existed.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's also a story behind the band Incredible Crash, or just Crash Test Dummies.
I'm looking forward to
and
hearing
why
that.
they picked that name.
Because I don't know. I don't know that.
It's not super involved, but you
just like
can't
the
help but
cartoon.
go down the Crash Test Dummies rabbit hole when you're doing somthing like this.
I know,
you know?
right? You got to embrace it.
But we'll
Go
get
all in.
We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Before all that, what you guys been up to?
I've got this new thing I'm doing called watching stuff on TV.
Oh, shit, dude.
What?
I know. It's a new hobby I've started doing. I'm not very good at it.
Hopefully it'll catch on.
But just been watching a bunch of TV, a bunch of movies. Took some notes this time just to make sure I didn't leave anything out. Of course, I mentioned last week I was watching The Orville. I finished the final season of that. There's a cricket in here.
There's a cricket.
Shit.
Our fourth host. The cricket that lives in the studio.
He was telling me he liked to watch The Orville.
Yeah, apparently he was like, dude, I haven't finished it yet.
Don't tell me. Spoilers. Season 3 I finished. It left off on a note to where, just in case they don't renew it for a new season, it'll be fine. It doesn't leave you hanging, so I liked that. So I ran out. Then I caught up on She-Hulk, which was like that, and Lower Decks I watched. Those current episodes. It was like only 2 of each. And then I started Harley Quinn on HBO Max.
The cartoon?
Which is fucking awesome.
I've heard it's really funny.
It's so funny. I had no clue it was going to be like that. It's super like bad language and violence, and just it's really well written. A lot of really cool people voice the characters in this show. Kaylee Cuoco from Bazinga from
Big Bang
Theory, and the flight
Pretty sure it's
attendant,
Bazinga.
which is a great show, by the way. She voices Harley Quinn, and she doesn't have that Mr. J accent, like you normally hear from Harley, but still good. Her delivery is so perfect.
I think for a show all about her, you probably kind of need to get rid of that lilt.
I could see that
to make her
I could see
listenable.
that being an issue over after 3. It's on 3 seasons now.
Oh, okay.
So but she does really good. Her timing and her delivery is really excellent. So I'm a huge fan of her work. But Alan Tudyk is one of the voices.
Yes.
He does Clayface, and I want to say he does the Joker as well. He's one of the other characters. I'm wanting to say it's Joker.
Is Mark Hamill dead?
No,
They
he's
fucked
not
up
dead.
then.
They did not use Mark Hamill for the Joker this time for some reason.
Man, it's weird. Mark Hamill is like the Joker to me. And like even though like
Absolutely.
Heath Ledger was like awesome, it's like, well, that was a really good Joker, but he's not the Joker.
Mark Hamill
That's
has
Mark
more
Hamill's
time
Joker.
being the Joker than anyone.
Yeah, for sure.
So
I
that's
just like Conroy is just like
Yep.
that's Batman. I mean,
Yeah.
I hear that voice and it's like, yeah, that's Batman.
yeah, and I didn't check on who does Batman. Honestly, it sounds like Diedrich Bader. If I had to guess, it's probably him.
I think you're right.
Is it really?
I think you're right.
Yeah, I got to look because
I see clips on TikTok all the time.
That's
I think
wild.
You're right.
I forgot to grab a couple more notes on who plays the other characters because
From the Drew Carey show?
yes, from the Beverly Hillbillies.
Yeah. From
that guy.
Hey,
From-
Peter Man.
Hey, Peter Man. That's Batman. I think that's Batman.
How did he have time to do Batman when he was doing the drywall at McDonald's at
I
5
don't
a.m.?
know. I don't know. He's a very busy man. I
Those
guess.
That's
breast
wild.
exams, man.
Yeah.
Those breast exams on Channel 9. Don't that look like I am? And then the coolest one for me, which I just found out, was Giancarlo Esposito, who plays Gus Fring in Breaking Bad, is Lex Luthor.
Perfect.
Which is just, it is fucking perfect. I love it. So
Cool.
high recommend for Harley Quinn.
I watched the first episode.
I
thought it was
really,
good.
really was pleasantly surprised by this one. Moving on, I actually watched yesterday. We watched Rob Zombie's Monsters movie.
That's out.
No.
Oh, okay.
So we watched it.
Man, if it was just like 4 Munsters episodes put together and you had the wool pulled over your eyes.
Are you interested in seeing this movie? I'm not going to say fucking anything about it because
I mean, I don't know. Probably. If it's good, if people are like, it's good, then yeah. If people are like, it sucks, then no.
I don't know what to think about this movie. I think it could have gone in a different direction.
Why don't you just let me into the
Other
movie
words.
theater that you saw it in, and I'll make my own. I'll make up my
I
own
could
mind.
probably work that out. I could work that out. I don't know. I had to sleep on it, and I woke up thinking about.
Yeah.
I woke up and I thought, okay, Monsters movie. How did
Man,
I feel,
dude? That doesn't seem like the kind of movie that you need to sleep on. You know what I mean? Like, I don't
Look,
know.
I was a
but
big
like,
fan of the show when I was a kid.
Okay.
It was a huge
so
Monsters
there's a
guy.
big emotional investment. In
I love
this.
Adam's
Okay.
Family the most, but the Monsters is close to my heart.
Yeah.
They took the 50s sitcom and turned it into something with monsters, right? And it was Fred Gwynn was amazing, and everyone that was in that show was so good, and the deadpan delivery. But it was more of a slapstick comedy thing than say like the Addams Family
Sure.
was, which shot for being dark.
Sure.
It was a little darker comedy.
Monsters appealed to me more as a kid. than
And
the
that
Addams
is
Family
to
did.
be expected. That's the way they intended it. It was the Munsters was a little bit more for the family show, and the Addams Family for mom and dad after the kids went to bed. To have a little hee hee at their. Even though it's still pretty safe.
Yeah.
It was just a little darker, right? Well, the Munsters was always great for me when I was a kid. I loved it. I don't know of how I feel about Rob Zombie's interpretation of it. I know you could tell he loved the show, and he really loves the franchise, if you want to call it that. But the delivery was just not, I wasn't ready for it at fucking all. And it like the way the movie starts, it's as if you're walking into the movie 5 minutes after it started. Like things are just already going on, and it just sort of moves at this sort of breakneck pace and then there's all this psychedelic shit going on because it's the 60s, and it's just it's an interpretation.
You lose me at a psychedelic scene in any movie. Any movie. I hate it in Dumbo. I hate it in Beavis and Butthead to America. I hate a weird psychedelic scene.
The show it came out in sort of the dawn of the age of Aquarius, if you will, and there was a lot of that vibe going on. So, they had a little bit of that kind of thing going on in the Monsters TV show. The difference was the Monsters was in black and white, and
Is this in color?
this is in color.
It's in color?
And I was upset by that.
That's a weird choice, I
I
feel
wanted
like.
this movie to be in black and white, and that was the first thing that threw me.
Yeah, that's a weird. I don't know why it feels
It
weird
is
to me, but
weird.
it does. Like Adam's Family wasn't in black and white, but I
So-
mean,
There will be an
Well,
edition.
it was
of
in
somewhere.
Adam's Family was
It'll
in
be
black and white.
What?
Adam's Family was in black and white.
the show was. I mean, the movies.
Oh yeah, no, but at least they toned the color scheme down a little
yeah,
bit.
it's
to
not
make
bright. Adam's Family is not bright.
Monsters
it's very
is
cold.
a bright, loud. There's
Really?
and it's not to say that the movie's not good in its own. I found myself about halfway through it enjoying myself. But it
You had to
took
adjust.
that long for me to adjust to it. And I found that one of the other things that was super weird about this, that I didn't realize I would miss, and I know this would be out of place in the movie, but the thing that I missed and didn't realize I would miss was a laugh track. There was no laugh track, and so I'm watching the monsters not being told when to laugh, and it just threw me off.
You're like,
for
oh
some
shit,
reason.
is this even funny?
Now imagine, now I could see that this movie would, with a laugh track, would have been a fever dream from hell, right? I mean, that would have been super weird to have a laugh track on the movie.
That could have been like really, really nice and weird though.
But
you know what I mean?
Maybe not through the 2 hours that it took to watch the movie. I mean, there were scenes in Natural Born Killers that had a laugh track that made it very creepy and very off-putting, but it was effective.
Yeah.
I think it would have made the creepy off-putting thing happen in the Monsters, and it wouldn't have been effective because it's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
You know.
Supposed to be.
Sherry Moon plays Lily Munster, and the guy that they got to play Herman was really good. I can't. Apologies.
Ray Romano.
It wasn't Ray Romano. It could have been, but it wasn't.
Man, I'd be in there day one,
Right.
man. I want to see.
Deborah, I mean,
With
Lily.
he did good.
I'm
He
a
did good.
Frankenstein monster.
Man, I'd be there. Holy shit.
But yeah, look it up.
What if they just did Everyone Loves Raven, but like it's just
With
they're just
monsters.
monsters costumes.
Without even acknowledging.
Right,
Yeah,
no, it's not acknowledged at all.
Perfect. No, it was fine. I recommend
Can't
anybody.
eat the lemon chicken.
I recommend anybody interested just give it a watch and let me know. I would love to hear feedback on this. Gage hated it, but Gage went into
Did
it.
he have the same attachment to the
No,
monsters as
no,
you?
not even close. And he expected he would hate it. After we heard some of the preliminary stuff before the movie kind of quote unquote came out. But I want everyone to watch it and get as much of, there will be a point at which you're either going to stop watching it or you're going to keep watching it.
I mean, or fall asleep.
Or possibly fall asleep, which also is fine.
It's always a strong option C for me.
That's early. That's early for me. That's early Munsters review. Anyone that gets it, wants to see it and talk to me about it, hit me up. I'm always on the Discord.
So was it a surprise to you that it was in color?
I think I knew it was going to be in color, but at the end of the day, I just wanted it to be in black and white.
Because I was curious if maybe that was like, because that does feel like it.
I don't think it was kept secret. I don't think it was a surprise to anyone that it was in color, but I do think that part of my enjoyment may have been taken out of it because it was in color. Not because I think the way they did the color was really good. It was effective and it was well done. It was well produced. But the monsters are in black and white to me, and that's just all the way it's ever been. So
that would be like, it would be weird to me if someone was like, yo, you want to see Mr. Ed in color?
Yeah.
That would be weird. I don't know what color
Right.
Mr. Ed is.
Yeah.
He's gray. You know what I mean? Like,
well, or ask me to watch Donna Reed in color or something. I'm not going to want to do that. And the thing is, too, like with the Addams Family.
What Bewitched in color looks weird.
Bewitched in
look
color
weird.
does. I
Because you
prefer the
see,
black and
remember
white.
the
I do
switch?
too.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Oh yeah, and
I
the
do
Darren's
too.
change.
I was
and all that.
trying to think what's the show? I remember doing that and it being weird. I think I Dream of Jeannie might have been black and white for like a minute before it went color. I don't remember.
I don't
though.
remember.
Yeah, I think it was.
Gilligan's Island. Gilligan's Island, black and
Island.
white. But see, that one, it's like, I prefer the color. And I think it's just because that's what I saw first.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And with
yeah.
like Bewitched, I know I saw the black and white version first because I think that's what Nick at Night aired.
It's
It
like
did,
whatever
yeah.
Saturday Night Live cast you think is best is the first one you saw.
Yeah, or your first Doctor from Doctor Who.
And then Addams Family. It's like I saw the movies before I ever saw a real episode of
Oh, is
Addams
that
Family.
right?
So that being colored wasn't
Okay.
weird for
Yeah.
me.
Well, and see, the thing too is they had to get so creative, like with the Addams Family, to make it look good in black and white. The fucking living room was painted purple because
Right.
in black and white that looked like a really nice shade of gray.
Right,
And they had but when you look at it, the studio and the set in color, it's this just garish, gaudy, clashing color scheme that I wouldn't have wanted to stare at for hours.
Right.
And I think part of that was the problem with the Munsters for me is it's just too much color. It was taken away from my mindset of watching the show as I remember watching it all those years ago, So it is what it is. And again, it's a matter of taste, but I would love to hear anyone's feedback once that starts to sort of get out there and circulate a little bit more mainstream. I had one more thing I wanted to bring up about my movie watching week. We've been making a habit of trying to watch as much shit on Shudder as we possibly can lately. And we stumbled across a movie the other day called All About Evil.
Okay.
This one is a 2010 movie starring Natasha Lyonne of
The
American
Professional?
Pie and American Pie and Orange is the New Black fame.
Oh, the gravelly voice,
Yeah,
the smoker girl,
the long hair,
who's the power lesbian with the big hair,
with the Jewish accent and the Brooklyn and all that. She's great. The movie is based on a woman whose father passes away and leaves her his old cinema, and she's trying to keep it going and everything else. And but she's really mousy, and she's actually a librarian. And one of the things that happens is her stepmom comes in and tries to get her to sign away the rights to the movie theater. And in a rage, she snaps and kills the stepmom. And the security cameras catch it all. And she shows these old horror movies at the cinema, and she accidentally shows the video footage from the surveillance system in front of the movie. Well, everyone thinks it's fake.
Yeah.
And there are these shorts that she keeps making all these shorts, but she's actually killing people.
She's making snuff films.
She's making snuff films and then showing it in front of the movie, and she starts to develop this cult following, becomes really famous, and the rest is sort of history. The movie was directed by Joshua Grinnell, which you may not know who that is, but he is a cross-dresser, and he's actually in the movie, and his alter ego is known as Peaches Christ. And Peaches Christ is in the movie as well. He's in the movie and Cassandra.
Sure, it's not an Ernest character.
My name is
Jesus Christ. Cassandra Peterson is in it. Elvira, only not as Elvira. She plays the lead actor's mom.
Okay, not the stepmom.
Not the stepmom. And anyway, it's on Shudder. High recommend. Again, it's one of those it's so bad it's good type of movies.
Okay.
And they all know, everyone in this movie knows they're shooting for that vibe. They're shooting for this crazy, campy, silly vibe. But I found myself very endeared to this one.
Cool.
So my whole list, 4 stars. Wisdom Sage says, check all that stuff out. But especially right now, Harley Quinn, because holy shit, I was so pleasantly surprised by that.
Well, I'm glad it wasn't pulled because I know Warner Brothers is in fucking trouble.
What? Really?
Yeah, they're a bunch of their
They
movies.
should put
that
Rick
do-
out on Multiverses.
Oh shit, right?
Multiverse is gonna, from what it sounds like, Multiverse is gonna carry Warner Brothers for a minute.
What
might.
happened? I don't know what happened.
They can only produce 2 more big budget films for this year, because they had to make all these cutbacks, so they made all these cuts that ended up driving their revenue way the fuck down. So HBO, they gutted all these cartoons from HBO Max, which caused a bunch of unsubscriptions.
They pulled ones that already existed, so they're releasing the rights to them. I guess is that what's going on?
I
so
think
they have to pay for the.
I don't know if they're releasing the
licensing?
rights or if they're just shelving it all together, but I did hear that there was a whole bunch of projects that got canceled at Warner.
Well, see, that's my big question is if they're pulling stuff that's already been produced and has been out for years, or if they're just stopping production.
I think it's stuff that was recent productions that they just stopped.
Oh, okay.
But some of them never made it to.
Because that's alarming, but that's way less alarming than we're pulling the.
I don't think they're
content
pulling
that's already
stuff
been
that they've
published.
already have license to use, unless it's stuff they don't own. Then, in which case, that'll just end up on some other platform, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But
So I had no idea. So they're in trouble.
So I heard it's
I mean, it
bad.
makes sense.
They're the only 2 movies they can release this year better be fucking gangbusters, or it's
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they don't have their own streaming service. It's been a real shit couple of years for movies in movie theaters.
well, HBO Max is sort of their streaming service.
But but who owns it?
Warner Media.
So
HBO and Warner Media, they're all one big company.
okay, I
That's how they're
know
like able to use HBO licensed stuff, like in Multiverses, for example.
Sure.
They are Warner Brothers. I don't know the exact hierarchy here, but Warner Brothers owns HBO as part of Warner Media, so it's all one big conglomerate.
Okay.
So HBO will carry them for a while anyway.
But see, that's what's confusing to me is, I guess they're the same but different.
They're probably like different subsidiaries of the same corporation, so they can't necessarily, funnel money from one into the other type of thing. They're separate companies, but they're under.
But they kind of can.
But they kind of sort of can. Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like,
I don't know. I don't know how all that works.
Wow.
But
No, fuck God. Obviously, I don't either. Because I'm like a 5-year-old asking, how does business work, Dad?
pull out the dictionary, son. Let's find out.
Because I don't know.
See, at least Charlie Quinn's still there. That makes me happy.
We liked the first episode, and then I broke the Google TV, so and then it started working again. So all I did was accidentally hit a button on the remote. Those fucking things are finicky.
The destroy button.
Apparently, yeah, unlocked I put in the secret code.
The suspended animation button.
They put in every factor. They're like, okay, if this needs a self-destruct, enter this combination of keys. What if someone does an accident? Oh, they definitely will never do that unless they hit the remote with their elbow in a weird
Just
way.
a little bit. Ever so slightly.
Like 8 times? Nah, just once. And then it just stopped working for days. And then I was like, I tried turning it off and turning it on again. That didn't work. And I was like, fuck it. I'm just going to leave it unplugged for 2 days. Plugged it back in. That fixed it.
You remove those residual bits.
I don't know.
You let those residual bits fade away.
I don't know what the fuck was going on, but it's working now.
We had a guy that worked for our company. This was years ago. This was 10, 11 years ago. Great guy, and he's pretty smart. But there at one point, he actually told one of our clients that they needed to. I think he said they needed to reboot their computer multiple times to remove residual bits.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was just bullshitting to make them reboot and leave him alone.
It sounds like somebody didn't want to talk right then.
Or if he believed it. I don't know.
Well, it's like my glass door
still
was
on the
blocking the
fence.
internet that one day to my garage. So my dad was right. Just got to move that glass door.
It happens.
Bounces a signal right off.
Right off. Can't go through glass. Everybody knows
Wi-Fi,
that.
it can pass through concrete, brick, glass.
Glass.
Uh-uh.
So you stay tuned when they got sucked into the satellite dish. Works the same way,
Oh, shit.
but for internet.
Then you become. Fuck! There was a movie I was thinking of where a guy goes in, becomes the internet.
But Lawnmower Man,
Is
the
it
computer
Lawnmower
that
Man?
worked in
I
his
think
shoes.
you're right. I think it is Lawnmower Man. Yeah,
which Stephen King sued the studio over
because it was so bad.
because
Because it was so different, maybe.
they put his name on it without his permission to sell the movie. So it was Stephen King's Lawnmower Man. And he sued him for that. And because the movie is so different than the book. That I think that was like, I imagine if the movie had been great, he probably would have been like, that's okay.
Whatever.
That's all right. I don't know how litigious he is. Probably very.
Cut me a check. Here's my agent's number.
But yeah, the movie was so bad and had his name on it without his permission. So yeah, he went after
It was
them.
not a good movie.
That movie sucked.
We watched it back when there was not that much to watch. That
And
was
even then-
that was one of the movies we owned on VHS.
I'm so
that was
sorry.
like, we bought in the
Did you get a tax credit?
maybe. I can't remember. I didn't probably didn't do
Reparations.
taxes.
The SNES game was bad, too. Link in the show notes.
It was
Yes,
real
yeah,
bad.
yeah.
It was real bad. Maybe, man, I don't know if it was worse than the movie or not.
Yep.
The movie's super bad,
It's not
and
good
it
at
has
all.
age. Just age does nothing but make it worse because all they're doing is just like, I mean, it's just it's not a good look in 2022 where it's like, this is a person with mental disabilities.
Let's see if we can fix him.
Yeah, it's a bad movie.
What have you been up to, Dave?
I watched Prey on your recommendation,
Yay.
and I've heard many good things about it. Nikki and I watched it the other night
Man.
on our newly working Google TV.
Yeah.
By the way, the other Google TV now is all fucking glitchy and shit. And it's like, man, these fucking things.
Sibling rivalry.
These things. Yeah, I know, right?
Pay more attention to me, Dad.
That's right.
What'd you think of Prey?
I loved it. I thought it was great. But I was sold on the concept alone.
Yeah.
Like a Predator movie set in the like 1600s.
Right.
It's like, yeah, okay. Yeah, let's do this. I thought it was great. There were a few little things. Yeah, I get hung up on stuff where it's like, I don't want to spoil anything, but maybe you could explain something to me. There's a scene where I feel like the Predator definitely should have been able to see the main character because she is literally just hiding behind a tree. And it doesn't work like that, does it?
Well, I mean, he has to be able to see her heat signature.
Right.
So, I
But
mean,
doesn't
the tree
that
could have
bleed?
blocked it.
But like the FBI is like always looking through fucking two buildings and shit when they're doing thermal, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would assume that they're expecting you to assume that the tree is blocking her heat signature, but you would think there'd be some like, stink lines or something coming out from the side.
I mean, and I was. Trust me, I tried to overlook this, but it kept fucking bothering me. And I waited till the end of the movie, and like the credits are rolling. I look over, I was like, "How did he see her through that tree? I mean, how didn't he see her through that tree?" I don't know. That's it. That was my big problem.
Well, if
with the
that's
movie.
your one complaint about the movie, then I think that is high praise.
Yeah, like I said, I liked it. I thought it was great. And it's. I just get hung up on little
I get
things
it.
like that.
I do. I point that shit out too, but at the end of the day, I try not to let it bother me too much, unless it's just one glaring omission after another, and then I'm like, all right, y'all didn't even really try, did you?
It definitely didn't ruin the movie for me. I think it really only just stood out because I thought so highly of the movie itself.
Right. Because otherwise, it was.
Otherwise it would have been like, whatever. This movie sucks. Of course, the Predator can't see her behind a tree.
So they missed a golden opportunity for the Predator to pull out a handgun and then curve the bullet like in that one movie and shoot her from behind the tree.
A gun kata.
Yeah, missed it.
Boy, I'm glad John Turley is not here.
I feel like that was for John. I feel like that was said for John Turley.
He hates that movie.
I know. What's the name of that?
It was, God,
JFK?
I'll get to it. I'll figure it out.
Yeah, well, she
I'll
kills
think of it.
like 20 people in a circle by curving the bullet so much.
Yeah, and that's like a whole
It's like spin
thing.
yeah.
That's like a whole thing for them. Like until you can do that, you can't
be an assassin.
You haven't really got the point.
Can't be one of Morgan Freeman's loom
You can't
assassins.
curve the bullet, man.
Has anyone here played a Bayonetta game?
I own 1 and 2.
Yeah,
I've
I think
not played
I own the first one, but I haven't played it. She's like a gun witch, right? Maybe
Yeah.
she could do
And her hair
yeah.
is her body armor or some shit.
she's like
yeah.
Sindel from Mortal Kombat.
I mean, I've
right?
played her on Smash, if that counts.
She's in. Yeah, she is in Smash. I forgot about. I was done with the game before she came out. Wow, yeah, because there was a big deal, right? About yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bayonetta, Ryu, and somebody else came out at the same time. I know Joker from Persona 5's in it now. I'll watch them play some. I mean, I wouldn't mind playing some of those DLC characters, but
I didn't even. Sephiroth came out, right?
yeah,
I know Cloud
Yeah.
did,
yeah.
but yeah,
Cloud
I
and
didn't even
Sephiroth
play
is
as
recent.
Sephiroth. So, I mean, relatively, right?
Relatively
It makes me
recent.
feel old because thinking about how old that game is, I know that they served. They serviced that game. They live serviced that game for quite a long time, but still, it's like fuck time. And I watched the Shang Wang comedy special on Netflix. Dennis recommended that one to me, which was really good. It's called Sweet and Juicy. It was produced by Ali Wong.
I love Ali Wong.
Yeah, I figured that might get your attention. It's really good because I know you're a fan of hers. And then I watched a 2-part documentary on the Kids in the Hall.
Oh, sweet.
Oh.
I still haven't watched that on
The new
Prime.
season?
I need to watch the new season.
The new season's really good, and please everybody watch it because first of all, it's
Wanna
really
keep it
good,
going.
and I want another one
Yeah.
real bad. And like I've since I watched that documentary this week, which was it's also on Amazon Prime. It's really good. It's called Comedy Punks. And I mean, it's exceptional. Like even like when they do cuts from like they'll do a cut where like all the kids are talking. And then they'll end it on them saying something like, well, maybe Lorne thinks this. And then it'll cut to Lorne Michaels and it'll be like, no, I don't think so. You know, like they do it in that way. Where
kind of a bit.
Yeah, where it's almost kind of like a dialogue kind of deal is happening.
Yeah,
And so that's really, it was good.
I had forgotten that we overlooked it for whatever reason. I was ready to watch, and then I forgot about it. So yeah, we definitely are going to watch.
I
that.
forgot about it until you just said that, so I really need to watch it too.
Yeah, I really want a second season or something because after that documentary, I watched it. I was like, man, now I'm jonesing for new Kids in the Hall. So I looked online. I was like, is there a season 2 confirmed? And there's what I could find. There's not. But then there was also an interview with I think it was Dave Foley who was like, essentially saying if they don't pick it up, we'll do something. You know?
Cool.
So I mean, it's like if there's no season 2, you stay tuned for something else.
Right.
Yeah.
Kids in the Hall.
So like Trailer Park Boys, just make your website, make a $3 subscription, just do your own shit.
I'd pay for that. I would super pay for like a premium like Kids in the Hall service. Yeah. Especially if it's like $3 a month or something. Are you kidding me? Yeah. Day one, I'd sign up for that.
Trailer Park Boys, I know they were on Netflix, and apparently some shit with Netflix went real bad real fast. So they got the fuck out and just started their own thing.
Well, you saying that reminds me. I heard some. You probably know this already, but I heard some news on the way over here that EVGA is getting out of the graphics card business.
I have heard this.
That blows my fucking mind because I've
Right.
owned several EVGA cards.
They had the Grim Reaper comic that on Reddit at one, where was I a good video game card company? You were the best.
Yeah.
For real. That's
Yeah.
all I ever bought.
Yeah,
was
man.
EVGA stuff. So
Yeah, I just found that out today.
Yeah.
And so that was kind of like, it sucked, but at the same time, it was kind of like, I get it.
Yeah.
Because, like, I mean, that's got to be really tough for them to compete with the manufacturer of the card selling their own cards.
Exactly.
So.
Something else newsworthy happened. Adnan Syed got released.
I saw that. That's
Like they let him go
after 22 years.
And the whole reason I actually started listening to podcasts was Serial. That was the first podcast I ever listened to because I never really thought it was going to be for me.
That Serial was amazing.
and-
Just that first season.
But here we are. Yeah, the rest of it was
The
kinda
rest is like, oh man, why couldn't you do that again? But you don't want to do that again. So
right.
okay.
But yeah, he's out. They like cut him loose. So, yay for Adnan.
It was what I mean. His lawyer absolutely did fuck him. Like
Yeah,
absolutely.
that whole situation went down wrong.
Yeah.
Just everywhere, and especially for the victim, because I just don't think obviously, and I don't think they got.
I think Jay did it, but
yeah,
it's here nor there.
and her justice is still now pending. So that sucks for her family, and I hope they can get justice, but we'll see. What about you? How you been, Tyler?
Good, just work and stuff. But I saw something on TikTok. I was like, I want to do that with Dave and Ian. I think that'd be fun. So I've seen a popular thing is doing a draft for like a random thing.
Okay.
So I think it'd be fun to do a draft. Like each of us take have 5 spots. I'll roll this D4, see
Okay.
what order our draft is in.
Okay. And we're just going to draft things?
We could draft candy. I feel like we all are on equal footing with candy or breakfast cereals. Pizza toppings, I don't know, maybe, but
I like candy. I'm good for candy.
Candy?
Yeah.
Candy, sure.
Candy. All right. So I'll give everybody, here, I'll do 1 through 5. We'll see who gets first draw for candy. So candy, like, do we want to do sugar candy or, like, include chocolate candy as well?
I think we got to include chocolate candy
chocolate
too,
candy.
right? Are they 2 different leagues?
I mean, I think it'd be hard to do just a chocolate candy one.
That would be kind of, I could do it, but like,
For all of us, for 15 spots of
Wait,
chocolate candies.
yeah, that is true. I was just thinking
So
about
we could
5.
probably,
I don't know. We could probably,
I think we could combine it.
or it might be funnier if we struggled to do 15
Even
chocolate
think of
candies,
chocolate
right?
We want to do chocolate. So, well, if we do candy bars that have chocolate in them.
Yeah, candy bars totally count.
Candy bars count.
Candy bars count.
Okay.
Because if candy bars don't count. I can't draft.
All right. So a draft for chocolate candy.
Chocolate candy.
Chocolate candy. All
Chocolate
right.
candy.
So we'll go Dave 1, Ian 2, me 3.
Okay.
How's that sound?
And you're going to roll for it?
We'll roll. So we'll start. That's a 4.
Of course we rolled a 4.
Roll that. 2.
Ian starts.
Start with Ian. The second round draft pick. Dave, you want even or odd?
I'll take odd.
Odd. Even.
All right.
So Ian, me, Dave.
Okay.
You get first draft pick of any chocolate candy. Once you get it, we can't get it. It's off the table. Then I feel like whoever people put in the Discord who they think has the best draft.
Okay. My pick for is I wasn't prepared. I've got like the chocolate factory spinning around in my mind now.
I mean, so even if you don't personally care for it, then you have to think who's going to be my best player, number 1.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's hard to pin down a candy bar I'm not a fan of. I'm going to go with Reese's peanut butter cups.
Yep. That was mine.
That's good. That's strong.
First round draft. It is. It's a very strong.
Pieces are still on the table, right?
Absolutely. Pieces. I don't think Reese's pumpkins and trees should be on the table, but I think pieces should be on the table.
But there's no chocolate in Reese's Pieces.
Is it
Is
just
there
peanut
not?
butter? Is it chocolate coating
It's
around
just
peanut
candy
butter?
over peanut butter. There's no chocolate in Reese's Pieces.
There's not.
Mm-mm.
It's like
just-
telling
My
me
whole life is a lie.
the Fruit Loops are all the same flavor. What?
Then why are they different colors?
I mean, unless that's chocolate candy shell around them, but I don't think it is. I think it's just candy with peanut butter in it.
I got to get to the bottom of this right the fuck now because I'm just hey Siri, is there chocolate in Reese's Pieces?
Here's an answer from Wikipedia. Reese's Pieces are a product extension of the Reese's Peanut Butter Cups line.
Yeah, we got
They
that.
were designed to capitalize on the success of the chocolate-covered peanut butter cups. Though unlike the cups, they have no chocolate.
Oh,
They haven't
Damn.
done
I was
chocolate.
right.
Damn.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Learn something new every day.
Wow.
That's why E.T. could eat them, because he would have died if he'd ate chocolate right.
He's a dog.
Is it really a dog? Just a funny-shaped dog from another planet.
Yeah.
But
He's
he
a
handles
chupacabra.
chocolate the same way
Oh
as
my
dogs. No, okay, so
Wow.
I feel like pieces are off the table unless we're just including all candy. But if we're saying chocolate candy, then that's
It's got to have
No,
chocolate
pieces
in
are off the table.
it. Yeah.
okay. So Tyler, you're next. Your pick.
It's not my favorite, but I feel like I got to snatch it up because it's a strong enough player. And Snickers bar.
Yeah, that's a really strong pick.
Okay.
And I mean, people are gonna like this, but I'm going Cadbury egg. I feel like Easter
Oh,
time.
it's good.
Those are you see them everywhere. I'm a fan of Cadbury eggs.
Yeah.
I'm going Cadbury
Cadbury.
egg.
No, that's a good one.
Not a terribly big fan of Cadbury.
I don't feel like it's a crowd pleaser, but I feel like the people.
It is a seasonal thing, though, that people sort of. I mean, they're everywhere around Easter.
It's a seasonal tradition. The Cadbury egg, for me at least, it is. Yeah.
Good pick.
It's not for everybody, but for who it's for, it's really for.
really geared right for them. My second round pick is the Milky Way.
Yep.
Milky Way is good.
Way. There's just no fucking with the Milky Way. You got there's no chunky things, no crunchy things in it. It's smooth start to finish, soup to nuts. I love it.
I'm going to go with what is absolutely my least favorite. I do not like these. Absolutely 100% do not. I think they taste like vomit. Well, I'm going to take Hershey's bar.
Hershey bar.
You know, you guys,
There's a reason it tastes like vomit. We talked about this.
I know, and now I taste it. Because after we had that conversation on the show, I had a little bit of Hershey's chocolate, and I was like, fuck, I could taste this little vomit taste you guys are talking about that I never noticed before. That's how I am with tasting shit, because it's like I'll be eating something, and it's wild, man. It's like,
Well, you handed me that gold rock star. What does this taste like? Pineapple. Yes.
Right. It's like anytime I don't know, man. Anytime I'm eating something, it's like it feels like I'm on mushrooms because someone can just suggest what it tastes like, and it's like, because Nikki does that to me. I'll be eating something, she'll be like, "Can you taste the oregano in it?"
Now I can.
Oh yeah, wow, yeah, I do take.
There's too much fucking oregano in
And
it.
then I'm like, "Is it really there, or did you just plant? Did you just plant that in my mind?"
Is it strong enough that like if you taste wine and someone's like, "Oh, do you get the floral notes?" Yeah.
That I'll still lie about it. Yeah,
I'll still pretend I know what the fuck that even means.
apples. Yeah, it tastes like apples.
Man, there's definitely some daisy in this fucking. Yeah, the floral notes of just a lot of posy in there.
It's
I
very
think.
wet. Yes. It's wet and dry. No, I get that.
Dave, round 2.
It's me. Does this have to be a particular brand, or can it be a general chocolate thing?
Because what I have in my mind is a general chocolate thing.
Then I'm gonna ride that. I'm gonna ride that wagon. I'm gonna stay in my seasonal chocolate, and I'm gonna say peppermint bark because I love it.
Okay.
Oh.
That
Well, I
is
think that
RTAJ's
should-
favorite.
Peppermint
That bar-
bark-
She likes the
bark-
the Ghirardelli bags.
Yeah,
chocolate.
fucking
Oh, man.
rules. That shit's so good.
I think that should cover though, like Andy's mints and stuff, like that flavor of.
Okay. I mean, it's
Candy.
mint and chocolate.
Yeah.
I mean,
which is fine. I probably wouldn't have come to that. So
okay. Peppermint bark.
Peppermint
My number
bark.
2.
All right. I mean, if we're going for powerhouses and we're going for what are other people going to play, I'm not particularly fond of these, but I'm going to go ahead and add for my number 3. And it's not that I don't like them. It's just I don't usually find an occasion to want them. Is M&M's.
There's no chocolate in those.
It's all vomit.
Yeah, M&M's is a good one.
Yeah, M&M's was a pick for
I
me
mean,
too.
that's going to be a powerhouse, obviously.
I'm gonna go with big category. Chocolate fudge.
Okay.
It's fudge.
Okay, yeah, chocolate
That
fudge.
is technically candy. Doesn't like the amount of sugar or lack of something define
The
the line
darkness.
between candy and cake? Like,
sugar content, because technically, like what in Ireland they classify Subway's bread as cake because of its sugar
it's sugar
content.
content.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. That I've heard that, and I believe it.
Man, I hate to see like everything at McDonald's is cake.
Yeah, burger cake. Yeah, fuck
Yeah,
yeah, burger cake.
Dave, pick 3.
Yikes!
Want some
Well,
ranch cake
round
on your
three.
salad. Yeah.
I've crossed out all of my potential picks except for one. I don't know if I can still have it. Maybe not. I was gonna go with the Hershey's Kiss. I know you've got the Hershey's bar in there, so that might
They're
encompass
two different
the Kiss.
experiences to me.
They are
They're
different
two different
experiences.
experiences. I think you're absolutely allowed to have Hershey's
I will
Kiss.
taste the vomit in a Hershey's bar, but not so much in a Hershey's Kiss.
All right, Hershey's Kiss, number 3 for me. I'm playing the weird game. I don't know if you guys. I have a feeling that you guys are going to be much closer in the running than I am.
There's something to be said for an eclectic list, though.
This is definitely an eclectic
This
list.
is definitely.
You won the first league of Final Fantasy football with your eclectic league of picks.
No, Odell Beckham, he won that for me. I need the Odell Beckham of chocolate. I'm real bad.
Is it my turn? Round 4.
Yep.
It's getting real hard for me. So take your time.
I think I've got my last 2 that I'd like.
Crap.
See, my
I'm
favorite
probably
my
leaving
favorite
something
chocolate
out.
candies I know are not popular, so I don't
You're not
want
playing
to
'em?
pick them. Yeah.
I think I'm probably leaving
Your
something
Moneyball.
out. Money on the
Oh,
table.
the Moneyball. You're right.
I think 4th round pick for me is going to be a Three Musketeers.
That's a solid one still.
Good. That is probably my second favorite candy bar.
I like a Three Musketeers as well, but I feel like I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of Three Musketeers hate.
Oh, I think it's probably not universally liked. I mean, they still make them, so apparently someone eats them, which is.
I mean, I eat them.
But I love them. I like that they're like light. Like I'm still getting all the same amount of sugar satisfaction. Because sometimes you work on a Milky Way and you're just like your jaw hurts from the chewing and the chewing of the caramel. Yeah. And sometimes caramel can be a little too much for me. But when you're in the market for some fluffy fucking nougat.
Three Musketeers delivers
that. Remember the commercial where they tried to make the Three Musketeers look like the healthiest candy bar by making it float away?
Yeah. Absolutely.
What they're really telling
but
you
all
is
the sugar.
you're paying the same amount of money for a bunch of air that's inside this. It's air in your chocolate. But I still love it. So that's my fourth round.
Because they used to be three flavors. That's why they were the Three Musketeers.
That's right. It was like a Neapolitan sort of thing.
Chocolate sold. So now it's just chocolate.
That's right. I'd forgotten about that.
I never knew that.
It was a vanilla and a strawberry version.
Yeah, correct.
We got good candy facts going on.
Candy facts.
I actually remember that from that. I watched that show about the candy. This whole thing makes me. There was a show that was a documentary about like the biggest businesses in America or whatever. A big history of the biggest companies in the country, and the candy industry was one or two of the episodes, and they were talking about the Three Musketeers, and that's where I learned that it was originally in 3 flavors. So
I'm gonna go with one that I think it's a little more uncommon, but I don't know anybody that doesn't like them.
I think you're gonna take my pick.
I'm gonna go with Rolo.
Oh,
Rolo. It was between Rolo and Milky Way for me. Wow. So you got a good one there, in my opinion.
Rolo is good.
Rolo are hard to stop eating. They're very easy to just pop.
Yep. Fuck yeah. I had one today. That's why I thought of it.
Nice.
That wasn't my pick. So I'm going to go ahead and jump on Kit Kat.
Ooh.
If you're a Japanese listener, you got to side with me.
Yep.
Kit Kat's big.
Oh, fuck yeah, it is.
Well, they're coming out with all these flavors, these weird flavors of Kit Kat.
Mm-hmm.
They're going straight Oreo on Kit Kat, right? Mm-hmm. How many crazy flavors can we come out with?
Mm-hmm. I'm all about it. I love a Kit Kat.
Kit Kat's a good candy bar.
Give me a break.
Give me a fucking break. Break me off a piece.
That's what they should change it to.
Give me a fucking break.
Yeah, give me a fucking break.
I think they'd get away with it. I think they'd sell just even more than they already are.
Get like a really filthy comedian, get like a Lewis Black or something to be their spokesperson for Kit Kat.
I thought I had a number 5, and then I decided on something else, and this is probably far less popular. We've recently discussed it on the show. I don't know if any of you have taken me up on the try this, but the good old Chunky, the Chunky.
That was one of the things I wasn't going to pick because I don't know how popular it was, but it's one of my favorites.
I won't say what
Chunky bar.
I won't say what my first 5th place pick was until after we're done. But I got to thinking about Chunky. It's the only candy bar I know of that's got a raisin in it, aside from Raisinets, which are.
Oh yeah.
What is it?
God, I love Raisinets.
Chunky. It's got.
I've never had one.
It's
like a Katamari.
Remember, I told you it was
Oh, you
square.
told me about this. Oh, it's that one. It's the square one.
It's got raisins, peanuts, and chocolate.
Fuck, I know I said this last time you mentioned it, but I gotta try one of those.
Yeah,
things.
you wigged about the fact that it was square. You had it.
Yeah, I know. I don't like
They're
that at
really
all.
big. It's like 4 big.
Is it like a cube?
Squares. Almost.
No. It kind of. It's probably
it's
about
chunky, so it
2
looks
inches.
like a cube.
It's a
It's
2-inch
thick.
square with 4 sections that you can break them off.
Okay.
Into like whatever.
Hey, that's
half
Kit
inch
Kat
square.
territory. Watch out.
They break off differently, and there's no cookie. There's no cookie.
All right, I'm inclined to go 3 others, but for some reason this just keeps going on in my head, so I'm going to go with it. Just because I still see it everywhere. Some of these that I like, I only see in a Cracker Barrel, but I still see this one everywhere. But it's absolutely my dark horse number 5, Reason. A Reason chocolate chew.
Reason?
Are so good.
They used to have like the cowboy commercials back in the day. It's a super, super chewy chocolate candy.
Like it's actually hard. It's like chocolate caramel surrounded in
Like
chocolate.
a Mary Jane?
I don't know if it's Mary Jane. Well, it may be, but
they're hard to get going. Once they get going, they're soft, but you have to really like
you
work.
gotta get it going. You gotta want it.
That does sound like a Cracker Barrel candy.
But they're super super good. Chocolate Raisin are amazing. In fact, I've got to go to the store after we're done here. I'm gonna get a bag of chocolate raisin on my way home.
Raisins and Rolos and Chunkies.
Yeah, I'm gonna get one of each, and then wonder what happened to all my money.
And get 15 different kinds of chocolate and see what we can see.
It's for research. It's for the show. We have to buy all this candy.
Exactly. Dave, round 5.
It's back to me. So I've been really struggling here I feel like I've got the Christmas covered with peppermint bark. I feel like I got the Easter covered with Cadbury egg. I got to cover Halloween, and I don't think it's going to be popular, but it's
the orange
nostalgic.
and black candies, the unnamed orange and black wax candies.
The butt plug shaped candy corn.
Does Tootsie Roll count? It's not.
It's chocolate.
Is that really chocolate?
Yeah.
Or is it chocolate flavored candy?
It's chocolate.
I'm going Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll counts.
I'm going
Absolutely.
Tootsie Roll.
That's a fantastic
Yeah.
choice.
That's I'm completing my holiday trinity.
That didn't even cross my mind. That is
Well,
a
that's-
good one.
I don't know.
That's a good one.
No.
It might not have crossed
good
your
one.
mind.
That is-
I think whoever picked M&M is probably going to run away with this.
That is chocolate.
M&M strong.
Tootsie Roll is chocolate candy. So yeah, all right. We've got our picks.
See, I fought because I love a Goo Goo Cluster.
Oh
Love
yeah,
a Goo Goo Cluster, but I
it's
feel
not
like
well known enough.
not
Yeah.
at all.
But you could go if you like Goo Goo Cluster, you could then go Baby Ruth and probably get a lot more.
Baby Ruth
Ruth?
was on my list.
Baby Ruth.
Our little baby Ruth. So Baby Ruth is on my list, but I didn't go with it. And then I love a zero bar, but I don't think enough people like zero.
Homie, I like a
bars.
zero bar too. Is
Yeah.
that chocolate?
I mean, it's white chocolate.
It's white chocolate, but is white chocolate
It's white chocolate, not technically.
I don't know.
It is chocolate. I don't care for white chocolate though.
Yeah.
Never have.
I like
I like it in
chocolate.
certain circumstances. I
I
like
do
it on a
too.
zero.
And a zero bars
Okay.
choice. Big fan of the zero bar.
Yeah, Heath bar was also something I thought about.
I was gonna joke about a Heath bar because that is the worst blizzard you could possibly get. I was gonna joke about Heath bar and
Heath are
Butterfinger.
delicious. I love Heath.
a
Butterfinger
fan.
can eat dicks. I hate Butterfinger. I don't even know.
Butterfinger didn't cross my mind.
Whatever the hell that peanut
It
butter
crossed my
is.
mind because of Bart Simpson. Just
Yeah.
that.
They keep changing the formula of Butterfinger
Fine, I
over
wouldn't
the
know.
years. They've changed it so much because it always sucks.
Yo, Butterfinger BBs though, those were pretty good for a minute.
Because it
I don't know if they
had a
still exist
better
anymore.
But I agree with you because it had a better chocolate to
Whatever it
butter,
is
yeah.
ratio.
Wafer,
To-
peanut
yeah.
butter,
yeah.
peanut. It's like peanut brittle. It's like they tried to put peanut brittle, but they didn't quite get it right.
Yeah.
And then they said, fuck it, we'll put chocolate on it. It's
Well, see,
fine.
that's why I love a Reese's cup, but I think cup is the worst form of the Reese's
Oh man.
because I think one, the big cup. I think the big cup is superior. I think it has a better ratio. I think
Haven't had it.
pumpkins, trees, and eggs also have a better
Yeah.
ratio than the cup.
Yeah.
See, I feel
pumpkins,
like the
trees.
pumpkins, trees, and eggs are
I like
are
the
Melissa-
not
Melissa
balanced
hates them.
properly.
I like those
Yeah.
scalloped edges though.
I'll
of the
eat
Reese's
them.
cup.
I do
though.
too.
That's like that's like a mouthfeel that I really enjoy. I
Yeah.
enjoy that.
Tanya just bought me a bag of the Reese's mini cups, and I like those.
I like the mini
Yeah.
cups.
I like that ratio a lot because
That's definitely more
it seems
chocolate.
more
It is.
balanced
Yeah.
though because that peanut butter's got such a distinct flavor. I think the more if you got a little bit more chocolate to that, and you got the right mixture.
And it's easy to put the whole thing in your mouth, which means you get to feel all of that geometry
Exactly.
on the edges at
Exactly.
the same time.
I want to feel all the geometry in my mouth. It's a good sentence.
Yeah, it's our band name.
I want to feel that non-Euclidean geometry in my mouth. All
Please.
right, well, thank you for indulging me, you guys. I enjoyed
That was fun. I like that.
fun thing to do.
Yeah,
I like that.
That was fun. Honorable mention for me was chocolate wafer. I like
That's
a
more of a
wafer.
cookie.
Nikki
candy.
probably brings those home, doesn't she?
She used to, but
I love
not-
those too.
She's
I buy those
been
for
pretty
Jack,
good.
and I've gotten
Yeah.
to like them much more. I like the vanilla ones more than the chocolate ones.
Yeah.
But the wafer's underrated.
I thought about I couldn't decide if this was chocolate or not, but I love these robin's eggs because I was thinking about Easter candy.
There's
Robin's
chocolate
eggs are
inside of
good.
them,
Yeah,
aren't they?
I think those count.
Well, the
would-
next draft. But
Yeah.
Robin's eggs, man, I can sit there and just go
Those are
through a
good.
shitload of this.
Because the shell is thicker than an M&M or
Right.
anything like that, so it's gratifying to
yeah, it
crunch.
crunches.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those
And
are
then-
good.
And then Toblerone.
Jack likes
Toblerone is good, but if you like Toblerone-
fuck Toblerone.
Toblerone. That was like if we had done a 6.
Yeah,
If
damn.
I didn't want to finish the holiday trinity, then it would have been Toblerone.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I have a
God, Toblerone.
question.
Okay.
If you like Toblerone, then why don't you like Heath? They're the same, except for the shape.
I don't know.
They're
Maybe
the same thing.
Well, there's not as much crunch in a Toblerone. You just get the little bits of that.
They're
of that
tinier
crunch.
pieces of
They're a lot
the
tinier. I don't
what
feel
is
like
that stuff?
they're not toffee.
And
They're
toffee.
something else.
It's
Is
toffee.
is it toffee?
I also
Yeah.
didn't say that I liked it, that I was going to pick it. Because nerdy
I
people
gotcha,
love
gotcha.
Toblerone.
I do, I
because
love
they
it.
show
I do.
photos of the giant fucking things on Reddit all the time.
But I
do
fucking
like
love it though.
Toblerone a
Man, fuck. That was. I remember I was so blown away by it that my aunt and uncle brought some back from vacation. I'd never seen it before. And I was like, what is this? It looks so cool. It's triangular. And I pull it out. Oh my God.
I know.
Just break these off.
They're neat. They're
Yeah.
neat.
Yep. I loved
are
it. Man,
neat.
They're neat.
that one gives me, I wish I would have
Good
picked that.
packaging. It's like really effective packaging. It gets you.
It is.
Gets your attention. It's
Yes.
fun to break off,
Yes.
and they're easy to save because the little sleeve that it comes in.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
wrap it up.
tear off the top, pull out the aluminum wrapped candy, eat it, then you smush it back down,
Yep.
push it into the box, and you've got a little carrying case for your Toblerone.
But I don't think, back to Heath, I don't think I've ever actually had a Heath bar. I've just had 2 Heath Blizzards that I absolutely fucking hated. So I don't know
Because
if
the
Heath,
cold makes them too hard.
I don't.
You're
Yeah,
right.
I mean, so I don't know if on their own if they're a way better. I just always assumed that a Blizzard enhances the candy that's
Well,
in it.
let me-
Because like for M&M Blizzards, an M&M Blizzard is like fucking 1,000 times better than M&Ms, which are already delicious as fuck. So by that logic, it was like, well, I mean, if I get a Heath Blizzard,
I will say I was not properly thinking of Heath. Heath is actually a piece of toffee with chocolate around it. So you kind of bite it off and snap it off. And it is harder to chew. For some reason I was thinking it was chocolate with pieces of toffee in it like Toblerone.
Oh, okay.
I still love a Heath bar, but I absolutely could see I could see why someone would not like Heath as opposed to liking Toblerone if that were the case. So
I like the Score bar
I
more
forgot
than a
about
Heath
the
bar,
makeup
though.
of a Heath bar until I got to thinking about it. So.
I'll have to try a Heath bar with Sans Blizzard.
When it's not cold, so it's a satisfying crunch. Because I've had a Heath bar where it's too cold that it makes the Heath like way too hard to eat. Then you get too much like rock hard Heath bar.
Yeah, totally.
Creamy ice cream.
Absolutely.
It's
Like,
already kind of hard to eat at room temp
Yeah.
because it's essentially a hard candy wrapped in chocolate. It's like the reverse of Robin eggs almost, except it's toffee on the inside. So yeah, give it a shot.
Butterfinger Blizzard also
Garbage.
It's real bad. Yeah, because I mean a Butterfinger's. I mean I don't hate a Butterfinger, but it's not a good candy bar. I'll go on the record and say, but like you make that motherfucker cold, and now it's like, oh, this is a miserable, like a miserable. It's not only really hard to eat, but also stuck to my teeth
peanut butter shards.
and really cold. It's just like this really cold shit stuck to my teeth.
Hershey's answer to the Butterfinger, the Fifth Avenue, is a good
I
candy
cannot
bar.
think of what's
damn.
out of Fifth Avenue.
Man,
like
I should have
Fifth
gone with
Avenue.
$100,000. I like
or
the
a Mr.
$100,000
Mr. Good
is
Bar.
amazing.
Thinking about that.
Mr. Good Bar.
I think I've ever seen a
amazing.
full size Mr. Good Bar, just the Halloween size that you get in the
Oh, I
the
used to
mixed
get
bag.
I used to get the full sized ones.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen one.
Yeah, they make them.
They do, yeah. Good Bar's good.
Charleston Chew. You ever have one of those?
I've seen them. I don't think I've ever had
Chocolate
one.
around like white nougat. It's really good.
Never had a Mars bar. We're gonna try a Mars bar.
Mars bars are, if you like almonds, that's the way
I
to
do
go.
like almonds. I like a Snickers almond.
A Snickers almond is essentially a Mars bar.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I get behind that.
It's the same kind of thing.
I almost went Ferrero Rocher because I like Nutella.
Yeah.
So I couldn't just choose jar of Nutella. That's not really a candy, but Ferrero Rocher. Thank you.
There's no chocolate in it,
Kids
but I love
like
a
those.
payday. Paydays are really, really fucking good.
Yep.
I'm not big on peanuts.
Oh,
like
yeah,
I
you
like
have to be big on
I
peanuts.
like them, but yeah, that's too much peanut for
Oh
me.
man, that fucking like. I assume it's salt they dusted in. I mean, that's some
they're
good shit.
delicious, but I get like tired of eating it about halfway through.
Yeah.
Just because it's so. I got a Reese's. There's another candy bar called a Take 5. I don't know if you've seen.
I was just
I
about to
haven't
bring
had
that up.
one.
I was waiting for silence to say, take 5.
Take 5.
Reese's peanut butter caramel pretzel
Pretzels.
and peanuts.
That's the big thing. The takeaway is the pretzels.
And the Take 5 Blizzard. I had a Take 5 Blizzard recently, which was delicious. It had bits and pieces of all of those things in it, but mostly what it had in it was peanuts. So like every bite, I got like 3 peanuts, and I got tired of tasting peanuts. So that's kind of where I'm at with Payday. You know, I get it and I love them, but I only can maybe do about a quarter to a half of one before I got to give it to someone else. But like, you want the rest of this? You know?
You guys remember the s'mores bar?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah.
What was it? I assume graham cracker, chocolate, and marshmallow.
Yep. I remember I saw them.
Who made
We
it?
were in college. I think Hershey's made them.
Hershey's.
I remember Jacob and I, our first apartment. I remember seeing them. I didn't buy one. I got back to the house and I was like, man, I wish I would have got one of those. I'd like to try that. So he who shall not be named went to Walmart and stole, I swear, 100 of those.
Damn.
And we just sat there and ate. So me, him, Jacob, and Levi ate so many fucking s'mores bars because he just walks in, untucks his shirt, and out falls just mountains of these.
That should get me. That should get me on rent for a month, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
So, would you like toast them?
No, it was
I
like
just
a
eat it.
candy bar. Yeah,
Yeah,
we
I
just
remember
eat
them.
it. Yeah.
Would they have would they have been okay if you thrown them in the microwave for like?
If you
5
could have put
seconds
it
or so?
between, yeah, you probably could have, or put them between graham crackers.
Oh, so there's
Probably
no
would've
graham.
There was like a graham cracker base.
Oh, okay.
And then the marshmallow, and it's like the whole thing dipped in.
Do they
chocolate.
still exist? Or
I haven't
I
seen
don't
one in
think
a
so.
long
Yeah.
time.
Been a minute for me too. A York peppermint patty.
oh, that's a good
yeah.
one.
Of course, that's I think covered also in the peppermint bark category.
I don't know. I think that's a different because
I mean, I could
peppermint
s-
bark's snappy.
Yeah, like I would have counted Andy's in that category,
true.
but I don't know about peppermint patty.
Yeah, York peppermint patties are fucking awesome, and I hated them when I was a kid. I hated them so much, but now I love them.
I would never have chosen, but I love Almond Joy and Mounds.
Man, you were in my head. Almond Joy, yeah, for real. But I wouldn't have drafted
There's
Almond
no
Joy.
way, no way.
And I like Mounds too, but there's absolutely no way that Mounds would. That's not a
Nope.
good pick.
That's a candy.
Would they
that-
make fun of it on TV? Like, what was it? Family Guy had a big thing. Like, hey, do you want a Mounds bar? Did you just ask me if I wanted a fucking Mounds bar? Yeah, they're good. No, they're not. That's all I eat. How many have you had today? 15. You eat like 15 Mounds bar a day? Yeah.
I like coconut.
I
so,
do too.
I
I didn't as a
mean,
kid, but I love it now.
I like coconut.
and that's about the only
So-
place you're getting coconut in the candy bar world.
Mm-hmm.
The Almond Joy and Mounds are the candy that everyone knows how to identify, but doesn't necessarily eat them.
Yeah,
Yep.
Everyone knows.
it's good marketing.
It is. It's amazing marketing.
Mm-hmm.
They still use it. I saw a fucking Almond Joy and Mounds commercial on TV the other day.
Yeah.
So they still got cable advertising budget. Someone's eating them.
Well, maybe they're misusing those dollars. maybe
Maybe.
they need to start a fucking TikTok account.
Hey, oh God, yes.
I'll do that for you, Mounds.
There you
ahead,
go.
I'll make it
There we go. And I'll do Almond Joy.
perfect. Nutrageous. Anybody eat a Nutrageous bar? Back
I haven't had a
I've heard of
Nutrageous.
those. I don't remember.
Or a whatchamacallit.
I was gonna.
Whatchamacallit,
You got me. That was my next one. Was
You
whatchamacallit.
put that in our brains. 'Cause, yeah, me and I were both like, let's say whatchamacallit.
Yes. Wonka chocolate is good.
I've never had one.
Wonka bar.
I almost said Crunch Bar, but I felt like
Crunch Bar?
I already
Solid.
I had Kit Kat though.
Yeah.
And I feel like Kit Kat fills kind of a similar slot.
I could see that. You don't get that
Crackle.
The crackle is.
Oh,
Crackle. I
Never
like
seen
the
a full size
Crackle.
crackle either. Just the little.
Just the Halloween.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I think is good. I like the I don't know if I would want a full size Crackle bar. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there's something about like tiny candy bar that's
No, I get that. I find it funny though that you'll name like this, that, and the other of these candy bars that you like in mini form, but those are all Hershey's with that same chocolate in them. But by itself, you don't like the chocolate.
I think
Nestle Crunch
anything
is
else
where I
that
would
can
go
cover
for one
up
of those.
cover up that vomit with something else.
Yeah, I would go with Nestle Crunch over Crackle, but at the end of the day, despite the vomit, I still prefer Hershey chocolate.
I think
So,
the most
go
pronounced
figure.
vomit though is Hershey syrup. That's just vomit
yeah.
sauce. Oh,
It's just vomit.
oh my god.
It's not vomit flavored. It's colored vomit.
Yum.
But yes, that survival horror blood sauce.
This was fun.
I enjoyed
Let's steal
this.
those guys' bits and do this again sometime.
Okay.
Because, I really enjoyed
We
this.
can do hard
Yeah.
candy. We can do
Wait,
what was the other ones? The pizza toppings one was interesting when they did that.
Yeah, let's.
I'll make a list. We'll do
Yeah.
more.
We'll do
yeah,
it. You
write
need-
down all the ones they've done and we'll do them.
I wrote all the picks if you
was-
want.
Oh, perfect.
That
Thank
was
you.
fun. A lot, yeah.
All right, you guys want to take a little break before we get into talking about the incredible Crash Dummies?
Yeah, man.
All right.
Let's do it.
Hang in there, everyone. We'll be right back.
We're back.
We're back.
We talk about that. Those incredible Crash Dummies.
They're so incredible.
They really
Incredible
are.
and crashy. So I do have sort of a background with not this game, but this property at least.
I was hoping that you
Oh, yeah.
you did. It was the right time for you.
Oh, it was perfect because I remember I was in third grade living in the house I live in now. I remember being in my kitchen on the little bitty TV that we used to keep under the cabinet there, like little white buttons. Like my dad would have the big TV that had the wood all around it, TV in the living room he'd watch. And I'd sit in the kitchen and watch the little TV. I remember watching... I mean, I like the commercials and stuff anyway. I remember watching the episode, that the TV special of The Incredible Crash Dummies, thinking it was the best thing I'd ever seen. I'd never seen computer animation before. So, like,
Right.
it was 3D. It was amazing. Oh my god! I can't wait for the next episode. There was never another episode.
Was there not? Was it just that
It was
special?
one?
Are you sure?
I checked to make
Really?
sure it was.
I thought for sure it was
a
series.
pilot that was never picked up.
Really?
After that. Yep,
That's
so there was
wild.
One episode.
Now, let me ask you this.
They squeezed a lot of fucking toy line out of that.
Oh yeah, a lot of
did.
game toys, everything. That
Which
was
is-
one
One-
episode.
Which is strange because, LJN started off as a toy manufacturer. They're the ones that put this game out.
Yeah.
And I've got some facts about that, but I wanted to ask. So I grew up in the age of the Crash Test Dummies when they were a public safety
a-
announcement.
Yeah, just
Right.
public announcement.
Vince and Larry telling you through various dad jokes and puns that put on your safety belt or you.
Well, they got Ray Charles, too.
Yeah.
They got Ray Charles to help them out.
No spin
is-
and skid the baby.
Yeah. So I was reading up on the Crash Test Dummies, not the game, but I read up on the game, and I was reading up on the original ad campaign, which was one of the most successful ad campaigns ever to be launched ever.
You don't love Click It or Ticket?
They've,
Right.
They've said that the Click It or Ticket has been more successful than You Can Learn a Lot from a Dummy, which is wild to me because it's like Click It or Ticket, like that's just
That's a threat.
That's just fear, and that just proves that it's like that is
Totalitarian police state.
I mean,
Yep.
that's just fear. But it's like, but you're not wrong because I know, like, I was reading the stats and
20
it's,
years this thing went on.
yeah, and but like at the very beginning of the campaign when it started in what 1985,
Something like that, yeah.
but
No.
it like seatbelt wearing was like hovering around 15%.
Oh, it was
Yeah.
like vaccines. Like people, I remember
Yeah.
watching a thing like whenever they passed this one city, everyone's like, I guess I'm driving 30 minutes out of the way because I'm not putting on a goddamn seatbelt. Fuck no, they're not telling me what I can do.
Yeah, and like I watched there's like this news story where I was listening to people talk about wearing seatbelts, and it so reminded me. It's like you could replace like seatbelts with a mask, and it was like, oh, I don't like how it feels on my neck.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like
Yep.
it's a fucking seatbelt.
So the one
It keeps you in the car.
no, listen, it
I'm
was
fucking do it. Fuck. Man, Reagan's not going to tell me what to fucking do. Ralph Nader suck my dick.
it was a huge deal, and seatbelts weren't a big thing for my family at all. You know, we were sleeping in the back seat and in the back of the station wagon, and you know, all the seatbelts were there, but we didn't use them until
I came home in a basket in the back seat, not strapped into anything when I was a baby.
my
you know?
dad. We lived. I was talking about my old house earlier. We lived in an area of town that's pretty hilly, a lot of hills when I was a kid. And this was I was probably 10, maybe 11, 12 years old, right in that area. And my dad was coming home from work. He worked out at the mall, at the jewelry store. He was the manager for the whole chain, right? But he spent most of his time at our mall in Paducah, which is sort of their anchor store, right? He's coming home from the mall one night, going down the hill, coming towards our house, and it had been snowing. The weather was really bad.
Yep.
He lost control going down the hill, went into a ditch, hit a mailbox, bumped his head hard on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
No airbags either, by the way. That was not a thing in early 80s. And hell, it was 1986 before the third brake light on a car became a thing. Okay. So we never wore seatbelts. Well, he hurt himself. He bashed his head. He had to go to the hospital. They looked at it, gave him a couple stitches in his forehead. But this was 2 days before he was supposed to be in the first and only TV commercial for the jewelry store he worked at. And so they tried to cover it up with makeup, and it just, I remember seeing the commercial, like, first of all, man, they shouldn't have gotten him to do that commercial. But second of all, it was just this glaring injury on his forehead from where they tried to cover it up with makeup. But
Our diamonds are so sharp.
after that,
This is so important. I'm delivering this message to you with a head injury.
Yes.
Is how that commercial should have opened.
I should be in the hospital, but I had to leave for these bargains.
I have a concussion, and I need you to buy my jewelry.
Also wear a safety belt.
Also,
I
well,
taste purple.
you're snaking me a little bit, because that's when my family religiously started wearing seatbelts.
I mean,
obviously. and also
You could be in a commercial at any time.
that is the moment that my dad became an old man, because after that, for years after that, every single time one of these fucking crash test dummy commercials would come on, here we go, you could learn a lot from a dummy, and my dad would go, like me. That went on for like a year.
Oh, man.
It was awesome.
That's funny.
That was funny. So
They did
yeah.
a good job, the dummies. They did a good job.
Yeah, they sent the message, but I'll tell you what I found out about the crash test dummies, which is really interesting. Originally, those commercials weren't supposed to be funny. The original ad campaign was going to be that they were going to be, the dummies would be hiding. And they would like drag these dummies kicking and screaming out of their hiding places and put them in the car and then crash the car into the wall. How horrible is that?
That sounds like a way more fun video game than what I played. Where it's hide and
No
seek, where you have to find dummies,
Yeah,
wrestle them,
Tap A.
subdue them, drag them to a car, put them in, and
And then
slam
hit
them
the
in
button.
No one cares about your life.
That was the way the ad campaign was originally going to go. And then they obviously decided, maybe
Maybe they
that's
should
a
be
little
happy
much.
about it.
I don't think Ray Charles is going to buy into this one.
Turns out they made the right choice. But
It was Red Fox originally, but only if they tortured the dummies. Then he was out.
And then also Vince and Larry, along with various paraphernalia from The sets of the commercials are in the Smithsonian Institute, the National Museum of American History. So I think that's pretty cool that they had that level of an impact. You know, they were enough to be
Right beside
an American-
Fonzie's jacket.
Exactly, and Elvis stuff.
And Star Wars stuff.
Right, there you go. So I've always wanted to go there. I've never been.
That's
so-
cool. I remember, weirdly enough, the one thing that stood out to me the most is like the Imperial Guardsmen. You know, the red.
Oh, the red ones. Yeah,
they had
those were
those
crazy
there.
cool.
Yeah. I also remember Vince and Larry, and I remember, like, of course, Lorenzo Music being the voice of Larry, I think it is.
Which is also the voice of
Peter Venkman,
and
Garfield.
there you go. I found that out. That was in my notes that he was Garfield. I was like, man, I remember that guy's voice from somewhere.
Yeah. And he
It's
sounds,
Garfield.
you listen to
You
like
hear
all his
it, and
voice
it's
acting, and
obvious.
it's like, oh, it's Garfield, but he's Peter Venkman now.
If
Well,
Josh Nance were a voice actor, yeah.
Until Lorenzo Music was replaced with fucking Dave Coulier in season 3 of The Real Ghostbusters.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I don't know that either.
After the corporation started fucking with the show and basically ruining it, they replaced Lorenzo Music with Dave Coulier.
I like to
for
think
Venkman.
instead of that, they just held an interview where it's like, we really need to get rid of Lorenzo Music. How can we do this? Oh, I have an idea. Let's get them all together. And they got everybody together who wanted to be Peter Venkman. And they were like, who here has been in a movie theater when Alanis Morissette went down on them? Oh, just you.
Just you, okay.
All right, Dave Coulier, you're in.
That is, if you look under what we're looking for, this is,
That's it. Yeah, actually, I don't know if you read the employee handbook, but it says that.
Must
and
have
she-
been
and she
gone
was-
down. Ryan Reynolds was too young.
and she was like 16 and you were like 29, right? Okay, perfect. Yep,
Perfect.
come on, I'm on board.
That is actually, that's big Venkman energy. So I remember the PSAs as a kid. They were huge, man.
Yeah.
Huge. Like, especially for like PSAs. And I mean, it's like, I don't remember the cartoon. I kind of have some vague recollection that they happen. I'm a podcaster. I could do this, I promise. They were introduced in 1985, and around then, seatbelt usage was at like 14%. And then by the time they were done in the late 90s, in 1999, it was at 67%.
And also part of that happened because it became the law in a lot of areas around that.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was around the mid 90s it started to become law everywhere, just about everywhere. It was helmet laws and seatbelt laws that so many people were mad about.
I remember
Stupid.
like similar stories what you guys were telling, but I remember being preschool age and like going to McDonald's with my grandmother, and she had this giant car. I don't know what it was, but I can tell you it was burgundy, and it, like inside and out,
Burgundy and Square.
burgundy and square, and
My mom's was white.
with like
So, yeah, I
leather, you know, that leather
vinyl
yeah.
interior. Yeah.
And like, I remember literally rolling around in the back seat, like, and having a great time. Just like, this is so big.
Oh, fuck. I had my action figures and shit on long trips, and I had like fucking, dioramas set up with my action figures.
Yeah,
I'm in the
dude.
floorboard and
Yes.
using the fucking seat as the stage.
Yeah, the humps, the hill.
I slept in the floorboard.
Yeah, of course.
Plenty of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm with you. And then I also remember like seatbelt technology has come a long way for sure.
Well, there weren't even shoulder belts
Right.
for the longest time.
And I remember being a kid and like getting into the car in like the summer, and all the fucking seatbelts were metal, and it's
the
like,
metal buckle just searing your hand.
branding you.
It's like picking up that Raiders of the
still
Lost.
got a
Raiders of the
GM
Lost
logo
Ark
right here.
burned into your palm.
Yes.
It's like, I guess I'm the property of GM now.
Well, and the vinyl seats were also hot too. There was
Yeah.
no good solution.
Did you guys enjoy
back
my
then.
an Indiana Jones reference that I
did.
made?
It was
a good
That-
callback.
I couldn't have made that before last week.
Nice. Nice. Yes.
What you're saying is the show's been really good for
It's
you.
true, maybe.
To be determined. Yeah, I don't know. It always felt weird to me that like there was a toy line for Crash Test Dummies because it felt really like it just felt like weird commercialization of a good message. That never really sat right with me. It felt weird that there was a toy line, and the older I get,
They were cool toys though. They were cool.
They
as
look
shit.
cool.
Like
Like they
cars
broke
would
apart.
wreck
I
and
had because I had the dummies, and then I would play them with my Legos, and the Legos would do like a super hit, and then I could punch. They'd all
and
fucking
smash
fall apart.
them.
Yeah.
I do think that is really cool, and I'm glad that that the toys were good. I think I might have been a little too old at the time to like get the toys.
I definitely was.
But like, I think that's really neat. But it always seemed weird to me that it's like that transition from like PSA to like
Capitalism.
and it is, and it's like but the older I get, the more I look back, and I'm like, fuck, man, I was like, everything I watched was designed around me asking my parents to buy plastic. It was.
Yep.
It really was.
Yep.
And it's like, man, that's empty. That feels empty as fuck, dude.
Yeah.
But the dopamine that stuff created was real.
Yeah, I mean, it was.
And the toys were made for you to crash and break, and it like, I don't know, it did like, oh, car crashes are cool.
Well, I know parents hated the toys because of that. Like they wrote into, I guess it was Tyco. Was that the line? Is that the manufacturer? I think it was Tyco. And they were upset because they felt like it was glorifying car crashes.
Oh, that's
Taco was like,
bullshit.
Which
lol,
is
dollar sign.
which is, I mean, but then they also were upset about Skid the Kid,
Yep.
which was a baby crash test dummy.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that doesn't bother me because they did have children dummies, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because they got a
They had
test for
to
that.
test
have
for
car seats
what
and
happens
shit,
to the
yeah.
children. Yes.
So why not?
those are good things.
But why
We're
name it
not using-
Skid?
Well, you know why. You know why. Baby Skid.
Flesh to bone, the baby.
I mean, shit, I had like, when I was a kid, I had crash up derby cars that had like spring loaded doors that when
Yeah.
you would bang into them, it would flip and it looked like the car was crashed
Oh yeah.
and stuff.
Battle damage. and all
Yeah,
that,
that kind of thing's been around forever. They were capitalizing on a very successful marketing campaign.
Which is why the name changed. Because when the toys first came out, they were the crash test dummies, and they included Larry and Vince. And then what happened was the TV networks. This is how I took it. This is my own spin on it. But the way that I
Spin.
interpret it,
He's crashed his
Spin,
dummy.
right? Yeah. It's good. You're a good podcaster. You're a good podcaster. I can't even say the word. You're a good podcaster. The networks were like, oh fuck, man, we're giving you free advertising for your toy line because they were PSAs.
Yeah.
So the networks were like, we're not running these PSAs anymore. And then the crash test dummy people were like, we're gonna change the name. And the network's like, fine.
You got us this time.
So they changed the name to Incredible Crash Dummies. Vince and Larry were no longer, they were removed from the line. So
They're $50 a toy on eBay to get a Vince and a Larry.
that
I
doesn't
saw
seem
one
too
earlier
bad.
for 67. Yeah.
Because I mean, they're pop icons first of all,
Yep.
and they got to be pretty rare to find one in good condition.
Yeah.
Because I read like the first gens, like because they were designed to break apart, kids broke them the fuck apart a lot.
Yep.
And like in the first gens, they like hadn't really, I guess they weren't really using the most durable plastic. So it's like a lot of those just fucking broke for realsies. They worked too well.
Mom, it's broken. Well, yeah.
It's
Fucking cry
supposed
about
to.
it.
So you want-
It's a feature.
Not a bug. It's a feature.
So they were moved in the second gen in order to, I guess, get the crash test dummy PSAs back on the air. They got rid of Vince and Larry and they added Spin and the other
I
one.
remember the other one.
Oh.
They're the main characters in this
Barrel
video
roll. I don't.
Shit.
Give me a second. I can find this. We're good
Thought I
podcasters.
had
Don't worry. We're great at this. Everyone listening,
I'm
you love
not
this.
mad that even when we played the game, we don't remember the name of the other crash test.
One of them
dummy.
is Spin, though. That's
One
for
is
sure.
Spin.
And another one's name starts with S. I'm pretty sure.
Speedy? Who the fuck knows?
Oh, it's Slick.
Slick. Thank you.
Okay.
Slick and Spin. And what they did was they just painted over on the packaging. They painted over Larry and Vince. That's what they did. And it's just like, it's like so hilarious. It's like the lowest fucking effort.
Yep.
But hey, just enough, I guess. Good enough for government.
Whatever keeps the train going.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know, man. I thought that was really funny and weird. But it makes sense. I mean, like, it feels like double dipping where you're like getting like, I don't know, you're getting some money from the Department of Transportation to put these commercials on the air,
Yep.
these PSAs. And then you're also being like, but this will also be great marketing for our toy line. Like that feels like RoboCop style,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
shitty.
Yeah. What was that YouTube video I watched? Like, the Libertarian Wet Dream is what the video was called. I disagree with the message, but like the cops busting in, hands up, brought to you by Subway. And they've got little markers.
That
It
is,
would be Subway. It would be.
Yeah.
It definitely would be. It's idiocracy. It's starting to.
Yeah. They gotta get Jared out. They're boys. They're boys behind bars. You gotta get them out.
Oh, God.
Hands up. This is Subway. Oh, wait. You're watching child porn? Never mind.
Still buy our sandwiches.
That's Bed Bath & Beyond's territory. We're out.
Yeah, what company's gonna be brave enough to bring back Jared? It's Bed Bath & Beyond. Oh man. Okay, so they came out with a NES game, Game Boy game, Game Gear, and Super Nintendo.
And I think Amiga too.
An Amiga?
I think this had some kind of PC.
Yeah, it
iteration.
was an Amiga.
Because when I was looking up cheat codes, one of them involved the space bar. And I was like, oh, I can't do that one.
It was Amiga. I did see that.
I'm glad you also looked up cheats because I had to use cheats
Oh,
to
yeah.
get through this game.
I save stated and played it until I got tired of playing it, which wasn't long.
That didn't take long for
yeah.
me either.
I once I realized, and we'll get into the goods and bads and the uglies, of course, but the just we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's go through the list so we can get to that.
I do want to give a little bit of an introduction to the game. It released in October of 1993 for the Super Nintendo. And the reason that I include the month is because when I was playing this game, I was like, when the fuck did Plot come out? Because like the way the health works in this game is the way it works in Plot. So I was like, did Plot come out before this? Please, Lord, tell me Plot came out before this. Because it's a better video game, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Plot came out.
I don't think anybody will argue with you on that.
I don't know, man. I've met some people online. They might.
I've met some real idiots on the
They
internet.
might do it just to fucking troll.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's trolls. You're right.
Plot came out in the same year in September of 1993.
Just under the wire.
But I feel like, it's been a long time since we did the Plot episode, but I feel like that had a really long development
Yeah.
story to
Yeah.
it. So, and I feel like Incredible Crash Dummies probably didn't.
No.
is my
No.
guess. Just for playing it.
You know, there were popcorn machines as enemies.
Right. I know. That's in my notes for sure.
This was not thought through, really.
So
well.
yeah, I don't know. Were there popcorn? I didn't see the pilot for the TV show. Was there a popcorn machine in it?
Yeah, is that an Easter egg or an inside joke that only true Crash Dummy fans would really get?
You wouldn't get it. It's like Rick and Morty. If you're not on a certain level, you're not going to
Not gonna get it. Fucking gatekeeping.
Let's fucking riot at
Crash
McDonald's
Dummies.
for their popcorn sauce.
Oh.
It's a reference to Rene Descartes, you know. So you probably
It makes sense that you don't get it.
The game was it was
if you haven't
published-
read Proust, then you're not really gonna understand what's going on.
It was published by LJN, which was mentioned previously. It was developed by Gray Matter, who also did one game that we've already done an episode on, the Ren and Stimpy show, Vidiots. and a handful of others that we have to look forward to, such as James Bond Jr.,
I saw that. Bob,
which I remember seeing
B-O-B.
plenty of ads for in comics.
Yeah, that
when
one
I was a
actually
kid.
maybe hit a little bit.
The Terminator, which I've heard I haven't played it, heard it's bad. Not surprised. Wayne's World. Wow.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow. That one might be worse than Incredible Crash Dummies. And then Super RBI Baseball, just out of the blue.
Okay. Real quick, while we're in the setup phase, LJN. I've got some notes about LJN.
Please.
A moderately successful toy manufacturer in the 70s and 80s. They got lucky. They purchased the license for the E.T. toys for $25,000 because all the other toy makers like Kenner and Mattel just didn't want to have anything to do with it. For $25,000, they bought the license and ended up making $25 million on E.T. toys. Which
Good ROI.
Which in 1982 and 3, that's serious fucking money. It's serious money now, but even then, back then, it was even more. They also released a very popular Brooke Shields doll in 1982.
Wait a minute. Was this for children?
It's not the Blue Lagoon version.
It's not Jared's version.
Not Jared's Brooke Shields. But of course,
Shields.
Brooke Shields was a big teen idol back in the day, obviously.
Yeah.
The sitcom, she had a Kathy Griffin version.
They made $12 million on that, and then they also
$12 million
made $12 million
on the Brooke Shields
Brooke
doll?
Shields was a big fucking deal back in the
She's
early 80s.
way bigger than I thought then.
Oh,
I mean,
huge. She was huge in the 70s and 80s, like a big fucking thing. So yeah, they made $12 million on her doll. And then they also produced the Thundercats toys.
Oh, I didn't know
which
that.
were a direct response to Mattel's Masters of the Universe toys.
Yeah.
So, and I had some Thundercats toys. So, LJN had some pretty good toy licenses, and then they got into video games, and that's sort of where things started not going well.
Seems like a smart move, right?
It
seems like
you'd think, but
quality.
yeah.
The quality not typically not
You can
there.
get away with a lot less on toy making and manufacturing than you can in video.
Let's give them the same budget. It's fine. Let's do it.
But anyway, that's the brief history of LJN as a toy maker. Because I had some of these toys. I remember.
Yeah.
I definitely had. The
Do you
Brooke
have any in
Shields
the
doll.
toy box? To go
No,
out to Patreon
unfortunately,
donors?
none of those survived my childhood. I was the stupid kid that sold all his shit
Oh, yeah.
in a yard
All
sale.
my Ninja Turtles for like $0.25 each.
God.
Sale.
God, I had so many Ninja Turtles, and I think at one point my mom was like, "Can we give these to cousins?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course. I'm too old for Ninja Turtles." And then now I'm not. All of a sudden, not too old for Ninja Turtles again.
You Benjamin Buttons now.
Yeah, now I need them more than ever.
Yep.
I was the kid that kept his boxes.
Oh
And
wow!
I had boxes. I had the actual full-scale Millennium Falcon toy from the 70s, and I had all those boxes and everything, and I just sold every bit of it for pennies. I would have made a fortune on that stuff.
I feel like it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, because I might be wrong, but I feel like the boxes from the 70s and early 80s were easier to hold on to because they were just boxes. Like I remember when I was getting
there was
Teenage
no
Mutant Ninja Turtles, it was like a
bubble.
plastic
No.
shell on
Yeah.
where
They
it's just
didn't-
like
the action figures did. The action figures had
they had the bubble.
the bubble
on
around them.
Okay.
but the like the vehicles and stuff, yes, those came
Okay,
in boxes.
that makes sense.
And like the old G.I. Joe toys, I had a bunch of those, and those came in boxes, and you had to assemble them, which was part of the fun, for
fun.
me, putting the stickers on and all that good shit.
Oh man, those used to stress me the
I
fuck
loved
out.
them. I
Putting those decals on.
Loved it.
Man, my parents would hate because I wanted those fucking stickers to be fucking perfect, man, and I couldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
So I remember, man, going to ask them, and they were just like, "Ooh, fuck," like just trying to like pass the buck to each other on who's gonna fuck up putting the sticker on.
My mother bought me my own pair of tweezers for that purpose because I fucking got the sticky stuff on her tweezers.
Ah.
She went to pluck an eyebrow and like 5 came out. Shouldn't have. And they were sticking to the. Ian! What? Did you use my tweezers to put stickers on your shit?
Why do you look so surprised,
No.
Mom?
No. Yeah. Calm down.
My mom wasn't really like that, but it's kind of how it went. And so she ultimately went and bought me a pair of my own.
That's a
It'd
smart
be like,
route.
here you go, do your thing, but stay out of my shit.
Uh-huh.
It was a very passive aggressive way of saying, stay the fuck out of my shit.
I think that's the right way to handle
absolutely.
it. Yeah, I
You
think
know.
that's the right way to handle it.
She did kind of yell at me for using it and not at least cleaning the fucking sticky stuff.
I think that's fair too, because it's like
No,
you
it was
gotta
absolutely
you use
my
someone
fault.
else's. You gotta use someone else's stuff, then you gotta clean it up,
It was
right? It's a lesson.
absolutely irresponsible behavior on my part.
It's a lesson, right?
Yeah, definitely she was in the right there.
I think about that a lot. That kind of stuff,
Yeah.
where it's like gotta find that balance between like impart a lesson, impart knowledge, but like don't go too far with it. But
Yeah.
also make it seem like it's not a huge deal, but also make sure like it's a big enough
impress it
deal to
upon,
right.
yeah.
This is information we want you to retain.
Build the boat in this bottle just for
Right? Yeah.
the cover art for the game.
Cover art.
Pretty standard, just big old
what would
bright
you have thought?
pictures of the crash test dummies doing their thing, being crashed.
I would
I
expect
thought it was
going to
be a racing simulator type of
Yes.
thing
Yeah.
where if you wreck, you fly out of the windshield or something.
See
which
how
would have
far
been
you can go.
way
or-
fucking better.
Oh yeah.
That would have been way better.
Like caveman games, only with like crashing and shit.
Yeah. or various flinging the crash test dummy in a catapult type of thing, or
Yep.
everything that early iPhone apps were only in a Super Nintendo game. And they may not have had the movement physics back then to do it, but it
Angry
still would have
Birds
been
Crash
cool.
Dummies edition.
Yeah. But I knew it was going to be a platformer. I'd never seen this game before, but I just fucking knew it because they all are. They all are.
So many.
So yeah, not a surprise. Kind of a disappointment. There was some crashing cars in it.
Yeah, a little bit.
To-
A little bit.
The way you earn your extra point or your extra man is to, after a boss level, you go through a course that requires you
really
to
weird.
jump a car over things, and then ultimately, if you make it to the end and crash, you get
You want to
an extra
crash as
man.
hard as you can, so you have to build momentum by jumping over all the obstacles.
Yeah.
And I got a real fucking sticking point with this. This is similar to like why the Predator didn't see the main characters in a fucking tree.
Yeah.
A single tree, mind you. But the first obstacle that you jump over, do you guys remember what it is?
Gas tank.
It's a fucking gas can.
So I ran
of
right
course I
into
hit
it.
it because I was like, gas. Gas goes in car.
I don't want to stop.
Gas make car fast
Yep.
because
Yep.
that's what it fucking does in
absolutely
video
right.
games.
Yep.
Nope, not
the
in this
first
one.
thing they throw out.
I did the exact same
God
thing.
damn it. Fucking bastards.
Fucking dumb. It's fucking
The
dumb.
brick wall you have to jump, sure. That makes sense.
Spikes.
Spikes, old tires, even. That's
gas
So I did. I got
can?
every gas can thinking I needed to keep
A
it going. I'd
gas
stop.
can?
Yep. I did the same thing.
Yeah. Fuck that. That was definitely not a good way to start your bonus
And,
level.
and it's gonna make your car slower if you hit a gas can
Right.
in the road,
Sure.
as opposed to spikes in a wall. If this game were a movie or a celebrity, who or what would it be?
So I leaned heavily in everything that I put together for the show tonight. I leaned in heavily to the fact that your damage is reflected by the fact is when you take a hit, you lose a leg. You take another hit, you lose another leg,
Yes.
and an arm, and then eventually you die. At some point, you are bouncing around as a torso. And so the movie or celebrity that I picked was Forrest Gump because not having legs did not stop Lieutenant Dan from being a hero.
You ain't got no legs.
We're getting to that.
Is that an
Yes,
achievement?
yes.
No, no, no.
You're right, Ian. We both are getting to that.
I also have a Corey Feldman, but I want to do your movie, Dave.
I chose the Blues Brothers, and
Okay.
not because of the quality of the movie, but because for the longest time, the Blues Brothers was famously the movie that had the most crashed cars in it, the most
Okay.
cars destroyed in it.
Oh, okay.
It was 104 cars that were destroyed. That number is now it's dwarfed by. Can you guess who has the
Fast
which
and
movie?
the Furious.
They're definitely higher, but they're not the top. This surprised me.
Most car crashes.
Most cars destroyed.
Herbie the Love Bug.
Man, no.
The Dukes of Hazzard.
Again, no. Transformers 3, which surprised me because I was like, those weren't all cartoon cars? 532 cars. Just make those in a computer.
I thought they did.
I know,
That's
right?
what they did.
What are you doing?
They built kaiju cars and they crashed into each other.
God, what a waste of cars.
It's weird. I feel that about Transformers 3, but when Blues Brothers, it's like, well, I mean, yeah.
It's necessary to advance the plot.
It goes a little bit deeper than that, though, for my choice of Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers had an animated series that was
Yes.
developed but was never released.
Okay.
So I guess in a similar vein to the
They were the
Crash Test Dummies.
precursors to the. They were the crash test dummies.
essentially, that's what everyone has said secretly underground.
Yeah. Tyler.
I chose a celebrity. So like this, the not necessarily the game, but the crash test dummies were a big deal that eventually just fell to pieces. Much like one Tara Reid being a big deal who eventually fell to pieces, and now we can reference the Tara Reid nip slip and
Yeah.
get that SEO right back up again.
Did you know Vince, the crash test dummy, also has a pepperoni nipple? In the cup one, like the Marcos where they get curl and crispy on the edges.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes. Greasy a little, just
Just
pool of
greasy
grease.
enough.
If this movie were a Corey Feldman, if this game were a Corey Feldman movie, what Corey Feldman movie would it be?
Well, it's not a movie for me.
Okay.
So the way I've been doing these Corey Feldman things is just searching Corey Feldman alongside the title of whatever we're
Yep.
doing.
Solid.
Yep, I do that too.
solid.
And
Yep.
what I came up with this time was, oh boy, the cringiest thing I've ever seen.
Yikes.
It's apparently in August of this year of 2022.
So last month?
Corey Feldman. Yes.
Wow. Okay. This is real hot news.
Please tell me
Released
it's a JOI video.
Released. Nope.
Did you oops?
He released a song called Without You, the letter U.
Okay.
Mwah.
The video features he and his wife, Courtney Ann, going through the ups and downs of being in a relationship. It's even harder to process the video than to most of the videos for the Crash Test Dummies banned songs from the 90s. This thing, you got to look it up. You got to look it up.
Okay.
He can't sing.
Yeah, I know that.
He just
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
And
I've heard.
the lyrics are terrible,
Yeah.
and the video is cringy. I take back what I said about that he could be Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Just after
From this.
seeing that alone.
He never
Don't get
has
me
to
wrong.
sing.
Don't get me. He has to sing this because no one asked him to sing. I'm telling you. It says it was on YouTube. It says it was released in August of this year. So, and it looks pretty current.
Like he did the video with this was like maybe a decade ago by this point, but it wasn't like with a bunch of like Playboy models or something like that.
I don't
or
remember
maybe it was
that.
like Victoria's Secret models or something like that. I mean, like
Sounds familiar.
This was probably done as the antithesis of whatever that is.
okay,
Because it's just him and his wife.
it's about the aftermath of him making that video and his wife.
possibly. Take it for what you will. It's hard to watch.
I believe it.
and,
I do.
I love Corey Feldman. I do. This was terrible, my man. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Corey, if you're listening, which
He
I'm
is.
sure he is. Nothing personal. but I hated it, and it upset me a lot to see this.
Nothing personal.
I used to
but I
think-
was attacked by your voice and wife.
You could have been Indiana Jones in my mind until today.
You
Could
blew
have had
it.
that head cannon, man. You fucked it up.
Sorry, Corey. I love you, man. Keep it up. Goonies never say die. Okay. Sorry, go ahead. Dave, if this movie were a
2027,
Corey
it's on his
Feldman
IMDb.
movie, what would
Goonies
you
too.
call it?
Easy for me.
Yeah?
License to Drive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
License to
Perfect.
Drive.
That is a little bit easier. But not so easy that I thought of it.
Well, License. I watched License to
wish I
Drive
had.
as a child, way too young, way too many times.
Gotcha.
So like, that's one of those movies where it's like, not a good movie.
No.
I mean, like,
I tried to drive places in reverse because of that movie. Like as a kid,
Yeah.
like taking my parents' car in the driveway, trying to do stuff backwards.
yeah, they kind of did the Ferris Bueller thing, didn't they?
Yeah.
There's like rewatch it because I've watched that movie since then. I swear to you, because this was on like HBO when I was a kid, and I honestly probably one summer saw the movie literally a dozen times. So it's like it's in there.
Yeah,
like
oh,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's those like brain grooves are like real deep, like etched in essentially. But like I rewatched it it's maybe 10 years ago, and it was like, man, I can't believe my parents let me watch this movie. Where they're creeping on Heather Graham when she's like asleep in the back seat. And it's like, man.
Just every fucking movie from the 80s and 90s, early 90s especially.
Yeah, Porky's and Meatballs and Revenge of the Nerds.
Just
yeah.
rapey as fuck.
Rape
Yeah.
culture.
I think there is, I'm almost positive that there's a scene where I can't remember which one of them it is, but they're taking photographs down her shirt while she's passed out in the back seat. Yeah. Yeah. This was on HBO. Like in the day. Like, you know what I mean? Like I remember watching this in the
It's not a
daytime.
full boob. Show it. Throw it up there.
Well, they didn't show
It
any
was
boobs. They just
so-
implied that boobs were there.
And it was so fucking normalized.
It was real
just
normal.
all in good fun.
Yeah, it was real normal.
And I'm glad there's just
It's weird. It's weird.
I'm glad that that's not a thing anymore.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I feel bad because I liked Revenge of the Nerds.
Yeah, no, look, and I like License to Drive,
Right.
and I still
No.
do.
If you could pretend to be a girl's boyfriend and have sex with her as long as you're good enough.
Right.
Well, the lesson you're supposed to draw from
That
that
is
movie.
absolutely the case, and I think that's probably the message that was being sent. But seeing some of the, and again, there's a lot of old movies, 80s movies, things that I'm never going to not like.
Right.
But I'm definitely going to acknowledge that rapey shit.
Yeah, and I think that's the important thing.
To say, whoa, fuck. Because
Learn and do
Yeah.
better.
that is awful. I'm like watching it. I was watching it recently at Revenge of the Nerds. I talked about it on the show. I was like, that is fucking awful.
Yeah.
And I never thought like that before
No.
until this time of my life when it's people are being made aware that, hey, shit like that is awful.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I'm making a connection. So yeah, that sucks, but the other stuff is good. So, you know, I'm not saying they're necessarily forgiven for being bad and for doing bad things, but I can't help myself. I like Revenge of the Nerds, you know? It's one of those things.
I get it.
And
But I do
License
think
to
the
Drive,
important.
Yeah, I get it.
But I do think the important part is acknowledging that, like, yeah, that part that's awful.
Yeah.
And probably, not showing it to future generations.
No,
I feel like that's
yeah.
another important
Let's
thing.
just
Or
talk-
if you
we
do, you have a conversation and you're like, that part, man, was real wrong.
The millennial cut of Porky's is just kids going to school, going to cafeteria, and then going home.
That's it. They go home.
Let's make it. Dude, Porky's is another one I remember watching as a
Y'all want to
kid.
go to
Not
a
during the
party?
day.
No, I've got a test tomorrow.
Now we're playing Fortnite. We're all
doing a
going home to
raid
our
and-
individual houses.
Yeah. We're doing a raid in Destiny tonight. I can't. Tyler, you got a Corey Feldman joint.
I do. Something he provided the voice for. So Minecraft story mode.
What? I didn't know that.
Yep. He provided a voice in Minecraft story mode.
That's awesome.
Good.
So,
Good.
because it is
Keep
a game
doing
where you
stuff
can
like
also
that.
Yeah.
blow up and fly to pieces. So there we go. Minecraft story mode.
I do like Ian, you're right, man. Keep doing stuff like that. Cause like I feel like I don't know if first of all, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like Corey Feldman really appeals to like nerdy dudes who are like 35 and up.
He's,
I suppose
he's,
probably
a, he's
to
a
me.
voice of
safe
your.
to say.
He's a nostalgic voice.
Yeah. So I feel like doing roles like the Donatello role. Like, I mean, someone's got to get him back for Donatello. And like, I mean, because like I feel like he would do really good in stuff like that, as opposed to apparently the song that
I think this was all self-produced type of thing. It's just
that really
whatever.
sucks because
It
that
sucks
it's
because
like a passion thing.
Took it down a peg for me
Yeah.
on the Corey Feldman front, but again, I'll always love the guy. And dude, get into voice acting. If you're ever going to be famous, like for a certain part of your life, and you think that fame might be fleeting get together with someone who knows someone in the voice acting industry to do voiceovers for cartoons and things like that, and you're going to be just fucking fine. I cannot tell you how many actors I've looked up on IMDb and seen
voice of
50 credits of just this guy did the voices of all these people in like all these different franchises or this movie or this, that, or the other.
Fuck, dude, Mark Hamill.
Mark
I feel like
fucking
Mark Hamill, like
whole career, you would think, he people would say, well, Mark Hamill peaked at Star Wars. No, he started at Star Wars and peaked as an amazing fucking voice actor.
Yeah.
Now he could just skate on that. I see all the different sides of Mark Hamill and know that he was the absolute epitome of the voice of Joker. And, he has all this stuff to his credit, and it's all voice acting. And you can wear what I'm wearing, a fucking t-shirt and shorts, and go do your voices and go home.
Well, the guy who played Rufio, I can't remember his name. I follow him on TikTok. The guy who did Rufio was also the voice of Zuko.
Oh, okay.
So he does a TikTok where he every week or month or whatever, when he gets his royalty checks, he has a huge stack, and he just pulls out a random one, opens it up. Well, here from whatever he's getting a paycheck for, and then just tells the amount, and then shows a flashback to whatever
it was.
It's,
that's cool.
It's so good.
Yeah.
He's done more voice acting work than anything else. So he pulls out oh, you remember Jackie Chan Adventures? I did this, and he shows a clip from that, and then the voice, and you get all of it, and then other shit. It's like, that's really cool. But
cool.
Their cancel checks, right? He cashes them.
Yeah, he's like, what can I eat tonight? What can I eat? Steak and lobster, or do I eat Taco Bell? All right, for this, I go $1.49 for this episode of Jackie Chan Adventures. Okay, well,
it's like
great.
Seinfeld when he gets the 5-cent checks for like being shown on a Japanese TV show.
Yes.
but then the voice actor for Azula has done 100 fucking things.
Really?
I watched her, she's prolific as well, doing everything under the sun. A lot of the Scooby-Doo voices were her too.
Oh,
all the modern
really?
Scooby-Doo, and yeah.
Cool.
Don't know voice actors where it's at.
I miss Casey Kasem.
Me too.
Real bad.
Especially since I play multiverses, and
Real
whoever
bad.
did the Shaggy voice in that sucks at Shaggy.
I mean, yeah, it's just not Casey
Sorry.
Kasem. It's just not.
You're
what
never
can you
gonna
do?
you're never gonna
What
get
can
it
you do?
right unless you're doing the live action version of Scooby Doo, and you're the guy playing Shaggy. Can't remember his
Matthew
name.
Lillard.
Matthew Lillard.
Please no.
Yeah.
I prefer who they got.
He was fine in that though. No, I'm not saying he should be the voice of
Oh,
Shaggy.
but in the
I'm
movie?
saying in the movie, yeah, for a live action version of Shaggy, fine.
Lillard's good. Yeah,
job.
Lillard looks shaggy.
Got the voice and everything. I liked it, but in the game and the cartoons, they're never gonna ever get it right.
Yeah,
Casey Kasem had
it's
a
Casey Kasem.
voice of a lifetime.
It's true.
I still listen to American Top 40 from the 80s on like Sunday morning. If we go to the grocery, it'll come on one of the radio stations.
Really?
and
They replay
They
it?
play
That's cool.
American Top 40.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Just they play it like
Are
just
they doing
normal.
like
They don't
the
do
week? Like, are they
yeah,
doing
the
it
week of
right.
I don't think it's like this week.
Oh,
They're going to
bummer.
say it's like
That would've been
April
cool as
of
fuck.
yeah, if it matched
Yeah.
up. But they don't play obviously the old commercials or anything because that was a syndicated show, so the station would pick the commercials to go in. But
Right.
They don't really do many commercials during it, so it's neat to turn on the
Yeah.
radio and still hear Casey Kasem.
Man, I remember going on. We used to take long road trips because we live far away
Mm-hmm.
from family, and I remember listening to that a lot.
Well, and
the
plus,
entire thing going all the way.
I mean, pretty damn
Yeah.
near. I mean, a lot.
God, though, we would listen. We'll listen though, and like they'll do the letters. Remember, he used to read the letters.
Yeah.
They would be a long distance dedication.
Yeah.
Those were fucking fake. Oh my God, they were
They
so
were fake?
Fake. They had to be.
I don't know. I was like 7 when I heard these,
believed
so I don't.
that they were real
I had no
at the
gauge.
time. But the more I listen to this show on Sundays now, the more I
seems-
think, holy crap, it's the same shit every week. They just spin a wheel, you know. So this week it's a long distance dedication from
Brenda.
in Tulsa. And it's they're all so bad and awful, and the way they're written, it's like people don't actually write like that.
Yeah.
I don't care if it was like back in the tail end of the era of writing letters. People don't write like that.
But what if the
It could have been
a
an
producer
editor.
or something like edit it? You know, they're like, well, fuck, we can't say I want to fuck your tits. What could we replace that with? I miss you so dearly.
Dear Kate.
Probably. It was. The letters are definitely written by a producer.
Tit fuck
Yeah.
rights. Dear
I don't know if they're. I don't know if they're like over, censoring titty fucking or, whatever. But those were not written by real people, like
Yeah.
in the world.
Brenda from Tulsa, by the way, is my new Steam name.
But did Casey Kase's family like tear themselves apart over his estate, something like that? I remember it being like a
There was
huge thing
there were
for
definitely
years.
family problems down near
Well,
the end of
because
his life.
he had a lot of really young wives, I think,
Ah.
and so I think that whoever he was married to when he died
He was tit fucked.
was
Gotcha.
was trying to be entitled to more than his family thought she should, and same tale as old as time.
Yeah.
Can we say 3 good things about the Incredible Crash Dummies?
I can try.
All right, I'm just gonna rip through these. The graphics were fine. The
Yes.
gameplay was good. I mean, I meant like
Graphics, okay. We
I had-
all can consent.
the control.
graphics was on my
the
list.
controls felt fine to me. It was just I'm terrible at these games, so I don't know. Graphics and the color palette, though, I liked it. I thought it was brightly colored. I
Yes.
thought it was easy to see everything,
Yes.
which was nice.
Yes.
Kind of as a change from the Indiana Jones, where like, there was a lot of muddled
Stuff
things.
blended into the background.
yeah.
Yeah, this was
So-
different. This was good.
Very clear
Yes.
graphics, easy to
Yes,
see.
agreed. I could totally tell it was a gas can that I was not supposed to pick
Right,
up with
exactly.
my car.
I didn't mind the controls. Really, they just felt pretty basic to me. It didn't seem to have any real problems.
I hated them.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I hated them because they felt like they were delayed. And it's
Delayed, slippery. Some of the
it's one of those things that if I had been playing this emulated, I'd have been like, fuck, man, I need to play this on original hardware. I played it on original hardware, and it's like I felt like I would press a button and it would take too long for the character to do something. Like it felt like, and it
Well,
might have
there's
been
too
a
many animations, I think, to animate the whole body the way they did, which looked
With all the
great.
different- right.
But that's a huge, like, when it's just the
Yes,
torso to do the
because
fold
he
and
does
the
a wind
jump
up,
and
like
the-
he bends his legs, like he
Yeah.
articulates at his legs, and then like does the thing with your arms when you want to jump real high, he like pulls them back all the way, and then he jumps.
Because Mario's just got one arm up and one leg
There you
back.
go.
That's it.
Yeah.
As opposed to full
right.
motion.
Well, and
flop.
yeah,
You jump real fast.
And the human eye will fill in the blanks. It's just with any animation.
Right.
It doesn't matter if it goes from one directly to the next. The brain's going to fill that in, and sometimes that can even be charming. You don't
Definitely.
necessarily need all those physics.
especially in a
Yeah,
especially in a video.
it didn't have to be
platformer,
Prince
I
of
feel.
Persia. So-
Right. Yes.
Yeah,
no,
right.
that's a really good comparison.
It is. It really is.
Because it is like this easily, like someone could be like, this was rotoscoped, and I'd be like, okay, maybe. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because it's like,
with actual dummies.
right? Oh, okay, now yes. Now I believe it.
I thought the losing limbs of the health bar was kind of a unique
Yes.
thing.
No, I like that.
That-
I
that's
thought that
on my
was
good list,
a
too.
cool
Yeah.
thing.
Made sense for this.
It
this.
did. It did. It was
theme.
at least
Yeah.
something they thought out, and I thought that was okay.
I love the health mechanic. I felt it was kind of weird that we had 2 video games in 1993 that came out that this is how they
You
keep
lose
track of health.
limbs as health. Yeah.
Also, the year that Lorena Bobbitt cut off her husband's penis. 1993 was the year of dismemberment.
Think about it. Canada.
Same year that Martin Lawrence gave that wonderful monologue about it on SNL and got kicked off forever.
You know what? Like,
She cuts off a Billy Packer. She throws it out the window.
man, Yes. Everything about like, so in 93, I was 12 years old. So like, as I was, because man, I was like searching like when that happened. Like as I was like, oh wait, fucking Crash Test Dummies video games 1993. So it was Plock. Fuck, please God, let Lorena Bobbitt have chopped off John Wayne Bobbitt's penis in 1993. Yes, and it was like yes, this is the best day ever. And I was like, so that made me think because I was like, fuck, I remember being.
That's the triangle.
Yeah, it's the Christmas, Easter, and Halloween of dismemberment.
That's the triumvirate. Perfect.
It's like I'm piecing together this like fucking elaborate puzzle. So I was 12 when that happened, and I felt like it'd be interesting to ask you guys like how the fuck did you like find out about that? Because like I found out about it through SNL and like all like jokes and stuff. Like I didn't even. I remember having to like
Lorena Bobbitt, the Monica Lewinsky, all of it.
oh
through
yeah,
SNL. Yep.
Well, I was 20. The news.
So like
Yeah, I mean, it was like we watched shit like CNN, and we watched
You had
shit
a
like
2-year-old. We were watching the Lorena Bobbitt shit. God.
yeah, 1-year-old.
1-year-old.
So 93.
93.
Yeah, he was 1. So yeah, we were getting it through, a current affair and things, Entertainment Tonight, things like that. Big news.
Yeah.
Big stuff all over the fucking place. It was all John Wayne Bobbitt's dick got talked about pretty much constantly for that about 6 months.
Well, I know the jokes
And then
lasted
more when he did
for
porn.
like,
When he got it sewn back on.
right,
Porn.
and he had to prove himself.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway. You think he watched Revenge of the Nerds too many times?
Yeah.
Probably a safe bet.
I think she did too. Because I have the limb loss mechanic. I like that there were bosses. A lot of games like this, I feel like you would just. I didn't love the boss fights, but it had them.
No, I agree with what you're saying, but man, I thought these bosses were really,
They were-
really, really phoned in and bad.
Because they had nothing to work. They did an amazing job with only having one episode of content to build this game off of.
Yeah,
So, granted, they
I
didn't
agree.
have shit to work with. I mean, I'm glad it had bosses. I'm glad it had some power ups.
I think that
You know.
one of my good things was that they had there was plenty of ammo.
Yeah,
and
the wrenches
plenty
were
of-
all around.
Like the screwdrivers to regenerate your limbs. I think
Yep.
those were more plentiful than I'm used to seeing in most games.
Yeah.
And I think that's also because one of my bad things was there's no checkpoints. So
No
you're starting-
continues.
No continues.
No
You're starting
continues.
all fucking over. That's why I was save stating pretty much the entire time. Every time I would accomplish anything, I would save state and move on because I didn't want to have to go through it again, which just tells you how I felt about the game to begin with. I didn't care enough to want to try again. It just didn't appeal to me.
Let me ask you guys this, because I've heard this is a common complaint. Each level has a timer. Okay, not a fan.
Not a fan of the timer.
Did it cause a problem for you?
I don't like timers anyway.
Okay, so it's just the existence of the timer.
And that and the fact that I feel like it wasn't long enough for a lot of the levels that I played. I felt like it was getting down to the wire too much. And I mean, there's not collecting the little discs, the little hazard discs,
That do nothing.
which do nothing
Except for the blue one.
except for the blue one, which gives you time.
Gives you more time.
You don't really need to go out of your way to collect anything. So I suppose if you can just run through it and not make
And
mistakes,
some
you're
levels
probably
were
fine.
straightforward like that and had a smaller timer. But then the other huge ass convoluted levels that you could get totally lost in with dead ends and shit. Yeah.
There are some levels like the military facility,
Oh.
like that reminded me of Home Improvement, where it was just like, man, this level's huge, and I'm wandering around, and I'm frustrated that I've somehow wound up in a spot that I was in a minute ago, and it's
Right.
like, fuck, I just burned a minute going in a big loop, and I don't even know where I'm supposed to go now.
And you have to be very careful because there's spikes and acid and shit everywhere. There's
comes out
no
of
like
nowhere.
safe zone. Yep.
Yeah, and they're
it was
like-
like Cat Mario, the way like spikes.
Right.
Oh, this enemy's movement pattern is different now.
Well, it was
So,
it was like running away from the big rock in Indiana Jones. You never
Yes.
knew what was around the next corner.
Yes.
There was no indication until it was right on
there.
top of you, and then you're like, I better fucking remember that. Save state, go back and shoot the guy, and they damage you a lot.
Oh yeah.
I thought that the invulnerability window was generous.
I agree, because there were times where I get hit and was just like, go as far in the direction I think is the right way as fast as possible.
But while you're still blinking,
Right, yeah.
I had to do that too, because once you get hit, it's easy to get hit multiple times in a very, very short period of time. With
the
very
car
little,
falling on you damages you.
Oh my
Well, now all the
God.
tires that bounce forever also
Yeah, you
take
can't
As they
run from
explode
them.
from it. Yeah,
Yep.
I fucking hate that.
You have to get in that specific sweet spot to avoid getting hit by the debris or the bouncing tires or whatever. And then to offset that, they've got the little jumping things where you can shoot everything, but you only have a limited
very
amount
limited.
of ammo.
I mean, they're generous with it, but you need more than they give you if you're going to kill everything.
Now,
And
most things only take one hit, but it's easy to get.
bosses.
How many
They
times?
take 20 and 30 wrenches.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times I would hammer that button and then be like, "Oh fuck! I only have a limited amount of this ammo." Because you do. It's limited. But I'm like thinking if they would just let me throw wrenches ahead of me, that would be. I would rather that the wrenches do less damage and be unlimited.
So
And
we're back to Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
With the pistol.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then get another weapon that's a limited ammo.
There's
that's
gotta
more
be a-
powerful.
happy medium
there's got to
somewhere,
be,
right?
'cause neither one of those things was good.
No.
Yeah, you're
I-
absolutely right about that.
But like we're talking about wrenches because you throw wrenches.
yeah.
And my big problem with the wrenches is that I couldn't keep the ones that I saved from previous levels because I would try to just avoid enemies or jump on them to kill them because I didn't know when I was going to need these wrenches.
Yeah, you could Mario style everything in the game and hit
Even,
it on,
even though the hitbox is weird on a lot of different enemies.
True. Right.
Well, and plus they come at you so fast, half the time you wouldn't know to jump to get on them in the first place.
But then there are sections where it's like I felt like I just had to chuck wrenches and move. Just keep spamming the wrench button and run forward. That's why I wanted to save them because like we were talking about, there are segments where like you're moving to the right and an enemy, like a dummy on a motorcycle, is coming to you from the left and they're going really fast.
Yeah.
And it's like if one hits me, I assume there are more coming. So I just run and throw wrenches and hoping that they're going to hit
You're
them.
just trying to burn off as much of the level as you can between those things coming at you.
Right.
Because I know the sooner I clear this section, the sooner I don't have to fucking deal with this car keeps coming and coming, or this motorcycle keeps coming. Oh, it's coming from behind me now. Oh, shit. Yeah, it was frustrating.
I have a question for you guys. I wasn't able to figure this out. The wrenches, the way you throw the wrenches seem to change from
Sometimes it
level
would
to
circle
level.
around me. Sometimes it would be two in an arc. Sometimes it would be one straight through. Yeah.
And it seemed like they were just, depending on what level you were on, determined how they came out. And I thought it was kind of neat that they changed, but also I was confused.
As to why.
Why?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
Because, yeah, I mean, at one point I'm like throwing dual wrenches, and it's like,
Yeah.
that's neat, but like, it'd been cool if, like, did I level up or something? You know what I
Right,
mean? Like,
yeah.
I'm just trying to figure
Well, and
it
it
out.
would have been neat to do a Castlevania style level up system to your wrenches. Maybe have them be boomerangs so they come back and they get back in your inventory.
Dude, I'm all
couple
about
times.
that. I'm for that. And like you
Yeah.
could choose to like give yourself like more durable body parts or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm
And
for that.
it's absolutely possible.
It needed a few more options.
Yeah, it's very, this game is very surface level. Like
Yeah.
there's not a lot of,
The most
You
unique.
can balloon like Mario.
I was
and
going to
Super
say,
Mario.
the most unique
Right.
part of the power ups was the airbag. When you pick
Yes.
up the airbag and you balloon and you have to use that at later levels to go up through like
I mean, it's exactly like the
vertical
Mario
style
mechanic.
mazes. Yeah.
yeah, it's obvious where they got that idea. Like they're not even trying to hide it
Yep.
because like, yeah, it's real obvious. Super
Yeah.
Mario World.
The slide mechanic, I hated it because if you don't hold the slide down while you're going under something, if you like let go of the button or your thumb slips or something, you die.
because you
Or
stand up.
two legs.
Stand
Yeah.
up.
If you're at full health, 2 legs go off, and you're just
Oh, is that right?
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
yep. You lose whatever legs you have.
Oh, okay. Well, either way, I think that's dumb. I mean, if you're sliding
agree.
under something, either have the game force you the rest of the way out, like squip you out of there,
Like every
or
other
stop
game.
and just hold there until you push the input again,
Yep.
or something. Just don't punish me for my thumb being sweaty. You know what I mean?
I agree. Although I did think that it was neat that you could slide at any time.
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. I wish
You
it
find
was.
soap and oil and slide even further.
Yeah,
and-
I thought because a lot of times, like, I love Super Mario games for sure, but sometimes when I'm playing one, I'll die because I'll be like, oh, I bet I can slide down here. And then it's like, nah, not slanty enough, I'm afraid. You know, and I just duck down in front of a Koopa.
About any more bad things? I hate that the signs do nothing. They should give you an extra life after you get so many points.
That would be nice.
It's crazy that you don't. I think the music is bad.
Music
is
and sound design in
horrible.
this game is some of the worst
Yes,
we have
the
ever
sound
had.
is so fucking bad. They got like 5 sound
It's
effects
awful.
for this game.
And the music is annoying. Like I was watching some video that played the Game Boy, that showed the Game Boy.
Yeah.
The music for the Game Boy version was fucking awesome.
Really?
But the music and the sounds in this game are utter shit.
They're horrible. They're really bad.
And not only is it like bad sounds, it's badly produced.
Yeah.
So it's like real echoey and real tinny sounding. And
Dude, I've got in my notes cheap production. Production felt cheap. Music, sound, cutscenes. Where it's like
Cutscenes
they
were
do these
bad.
cutscenes that are like single still images.
They could have been on
which-
the NES.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But man, I agree with the sound effects. And it's like it was comical to me. I was laughing because it's like obviously they pulled inspiration from Super Mario World with the airbag, the balloon. But it's like, but meanwhile, like when you hit your head in this game, like when you hit your head on a ceiling, it sounds like someone punching somebody. Like you get like in Super Mario World, you get this like soft thud where it's like, you know, and
Yeah.
it's like that. It sounds right. It
Yeah.
feels right. But in this game, like
You go off one of those springboards and just punch whenever you hit the wall.
yeah, no, it's real bad.
yeah, they
It's-
did like
the
5
sound's real
sound
bad.
effects and used them over
Dude,
and over and
the
over.
car
and over
crash
and over.
sound is just like fuck, man.
It's
Like,
everywhere.
everything is a car. Everything sounds like a car crash. Everything sounds
And like
a
It's
you
it's
said-
an angry, frustrated dad, just like fucking fine. Everything sounds like a goddamn
Right.
car.
Oh, you like car crash so much?
I'll show you crash test dummies. I think it's very important that you mention the cutscenes look so bad because we just came off of a game that had really
good-looking
beautiful
cutscenes.
cutscenes, which were stills from the movie,
Right.
Indiana Jones movies, that were just pixelated a little bit, but they still were very good looking. Clearly, we had the potential here to do better, and we just didn't. So I hated that about it. I hated that there was very little about this game really speaks to the use of cars. You know, aside from the post-boss levels where we talked about earlier, and aside from the ones that drop on you in the scrapyard, you know, these are dummies that are supposed to be in cars. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, I don't feel like it should be
Right.
another fucking bad platformer.
We don't need
Another
it. We
one.
don't need it. We never needed this. And
But
then,
if-
of course, the lack of checkpoints and all that crap. This was a bad game.
Yeah.
This was
If
not a
you'll
good
see
game.
where I have gone in the back and I've dragged out the dead horse again.
Oh.
So I've got
Is
my
that Big
I've
Sprite
got my
horse?
bat. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's
yeah.
Big Sprite.
It's
Big Sprite horse is back.
I'm beating it again.
Oh man, it's stinky.
You are way too big. You're about the right size when you're a torso. Otherwise, your sprite is too tall to get. I mean, you just take too much screen real
yes,
estate.
you are
Agreed.
tall. You're essentially like the size
Lanky.
of a fighting game character.
Lanky even.
Yeah, it's
just,
rough.
It's just
I see
doesn't
they probably
fit.
wanted to have the limbs properly animated, so they made you so big, but it ends up being a hindrance.
They gave this game to somebody, designed the levels, that colored the sprites and pixels, and that person really did a good job. And then he handed it to the next group of people for sound design and difficulty.
And they were like, "Oh, we're out of time."
let's shit on it. Let's just rush this fucking out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a real pity.
They're only going to make one episode of this show. Come on, we got to do this.
I meant to mention this when you were asking about the box art at the beginning, but I thought it was hilarious that on the box art there's this there's like this symbol, like an award symbol essentially, or like the starburst. It's gold and it says official product.
This is an official product. I love it.
You guys have any achievements?
Well, let's do buy rent birthday.
Go do Byron birthday?
Well, and I've got one more thing on my bad list. Tyler, I agree that they had bosses in this game, but man, they fucking sucked.
Yeah.
Because like fighting these bosses
the army-based one.
was the fucking worst. Because it's like, here's what you do: throw wrenches at a boss until you're out of wrenches, and then try to find the spot to jump on it. And you're not going to really know the first time or the second time.
Yep.
And then even when you figure it out, sometimes the boss is just going to shoot you randomly when you jump on it. And it's just kind of like,
it's awful.
The boss fights are super unfun. But I think they took some of the toys from the toy line and used them as bosses, which I think is a good idea.
Yeah.
Like Sideswipe, I think was one of them. And it's like, I don't know that much about the toy line, but that I remembered that name. And I think that's a really good idea because I felt like a lot of the designs were pretty neat. But yeah, fighting the bosses was not.
I looked up Game Genie codes, turned on the invincibility, and that's the only reason I got through it. I mean, I went through and beat it to see it all, but fuck, it was bad. And the army boss one that flies and shit is even worse because you throw out all your wrenches and you're having to time your jump when it swoops in. Like, worst boss in the game. Fuck
and
all
it's
of it.
like the other thing that makes it really shitty is like when you jump on an enemy, usually when you jump on it, you kill it in one hit, right? And you bounce off real fast. And it's not a problem because you kill it immediately. But a boss, when you jump on it, you bounce off of them so fast that it's like you can't really control where you're going. I mean, you kind of can.
You have to try to keep that jump up, trying to move and bounce.
You bounce right back on them.
Because it's at least 15 wrenches and 10 to 15 jumps. That'll kill a boss.
That's a lot.
It's a lot.
When everything else is single hit.
Yeah, exactly.
And I get that it's a boss, but I mean, like, fine. If you wanted to take that many hits, allow me to control the character way better. And then all of a sudden, I feel like we've got a potentially fun experience. But it's like when it takes that many hits and it feels like a slap fight because like I'm struggling to like land where I need to land kind of deal. It's like, man, fuck that. That's not fun at all.
Where do you guys find this in the top 100?
No.
Yeah, the bottom 100?
It's in the bottom for me. High bottom.
Here's what I think about when I ask myself, does it belong in the bottom 100? I start comparing it to games like Home Improvement, which is one that I feel like it's probably the closest to. Because like I think about Home Improvement, I think about Street Hockey 95. I don't think this is as bad as Street Hockey 95.
No, that is still, for me, the absolute.
That's the worst game on the system for me at this point. Hard Driving? Hard Racing? I can't remember the name of that game.
It's Hard Driving.
Hard Driving.
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's also. I feel like that's different than that. It's just broken.
Race Driving?
Race Driving. That's it.
There we go. Man, because they made a sequel that had a similarly two-word generic name, and that always fucks with me.
It's better than all those.
Bebe's Kids.
I feel like it's on Bebe's Kids. I didn't feel like outside of the haunted house level, that game was it's bad, but not as bad as I expected it to be outside of that haunted house level.
So which do you think is better?
I mean, it's close. Baby's Kids is probably better.
Okay. I'm on the other side of that.
A little bit.
I'm on the other side of that. Because I feel like Crash Test Dummies is a little more playable than Bebe's Kids.
Until like that Junkman's level. The very end.
I used a level skip password. I didn't get to.
Well, that whole thing is spikes on either side with spears that come out, and you're collecting the balloons. It's like fucking Tubular, the whole last level, and you have just so little room to navigate in, and it was fucking horrendous.
Yeah,
because I have invincibility on. And I see that I have my invincibility frames up the entire level. So that is the junk tower is the equivalent to the haunted house in Baby's Kids. Yeah.
Baby's Kids just gives it to you at like level 3.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so I guess I probably know where you stand then.
I'd say you might put it like maybe 2 spots behind, and I'm putting like 2 spots ahead.
Yeah,
Like,
we're in
it's
the
right
we're in the
there.
same we're in the same neighborhood.
margin of error.
Yeah, our kids go to the same school district.
Yeah.
So better than Cool World.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, I think we're
Cool
pretty
World
close.
is yeah.
So yeah, I guess bottom 100 for me. I guess. I mean,
It's probably toward the 100-ish.
yeah, it's definitely on the
part.
bad half
Yeah.
for sure.
I would agree with that.
But I don't know. I also haven't played all the games yet.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a contender for bottom 100.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we want to see what Flopsy has to say about it.
Yeah, what do you guys think Flopsy has to say about Incredible Crash Dummies?
Well, while you're looking that up, what do we think? Buy, rent, or birthday? For me, this was a rental.
I loved the property enough that I would have rented this game, and been sorely disappointed. But I would have rented
glad
this game.
not to have bought it.
Oh yeah, if I got my birthday, I would have been upset.
And then also,
Can I take it back and buy something else?
You're not going to finish this in a weekend, so you're probably going to have to.
no.
You're either going to rent it and hate it, or you're going to be like the LJN defender and just keep fucking going until I've got to beat this game.
The anti-nerd. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a rental for me. What about you, Dave?
I'm not proud to say this, but it's the truth. I think if I had this game as a kid, I would have been content to play through it.
Okay.
I mean,
So it's a buy or a birthday?
it's not a buy. Like I wouldn't
You
I
seek
wouldn't
it out.
actively seek it out, but if someone gave me this game, absolutely. I mean, but I also, I got a lot of bad games
But
as a
why
kid.
not?
You know what I
Right,
mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
and it's and it's a hassle to return something. Like it's for me, it was way much easier to be like, all right, this is what I got. Let's make the best of it.
Make the best of it, sure. And I think that's gonna be the case for most birthday games, right? I mean, if you get it for your birthday, you're not going to be ungrateful, and you may not even
They're
know
not
what
all
you're in
Castlevania
for.
eggs, so yeah.
Right, exactly. But it is what it is, and it's part of your collection now. At least that's one thing you can always say about the birthday present.
If anybody's listening to this for the first time, Castlevania Eggs is me not knowing Castlevania 4, thinking it was Castlevania 8 with my southern accent, made it sound like I was saying Castlevania Eggs.
and thinking that the Roman numeral.
Yeah, 4 was 8.
We haven't covered that in school yet.
I've only played Final Fantasy 2 and 3. I haven't gotten this far.
I'm gonna say that Flopsy
Yeah.
gives this game 2.5 stars, and that it is probably uncommon.
Okay. 2.5 stars, uncommon from Ian. What do you think, Tyler?
2 stars uncommon.
2 stars, uncommon from Tyler. Well, according to Flopsy, aka the Ultimate Nintendo Guide to the SNES Library 1991 through 1998 by Pat Contry, courtesy once of Monster Mold Mike, now from Shadowy Benefactor. They gave it 3 stars. I know, that stings a little bit, doesn't it?
God.
And it's a common game.
Well, okay, it's charming.
I do want to like skim
Probably.
this synopsis and see like why
The word charming is going to be in there somewhere.
You're right.
The
An endearing representation.
synopsis really doesn't give me a good idea of why they gave it 3 stars.
Okay.
They didn't actually play it. They just liked the commercials.
Maybe. You know what? They did mention the PSAs in that synopsis, so I mean, maybe the weight of the brand had something to do with it.
Yeah. You guys have achievements?
Yes, I do.
What you got?
I have a few, actually. My first achievement is not my Vincent Larry. And to earn not my Vincent Larry, you got to watch the opening scene and realize that the dummies in the game are named Spin and Slick. I didn't know that had all changed. I wasn't into the toys, so I didn't know about Spin and Slick. I was like, what the fuck, who are Spin and Slick? Not my Vincent Larry.
You saying it like that gave me a title for an achievement you guys are going to have to help me flesh out. I now pronounce you Vincent Larry.
Dude, we are Vulcan mind melded because that also popped into my head.
It was the way, Ian, it was the way that you fucking like committed to that. And it was the way you said, there was something about
Adam
it.
and Eve, not Adam and Steve, Ope, Chuck, and Larry.
It was
Okay,
that.
yep.
It was that. And yeah, it totally gave me the, yeah. So
Are we ready for my next one?
please.
Okay. This is a long one.
Perfect. I love them long.
That's what I heard. That's why I wrote this for you. Have you heard of a company called Gray Matter? Well, I co-founded it in grad school with a couple of friends. Actually, I was the one who named it. And back then, it just, small time. But we had a couple of patents pending, nothing earth-shattering. Of course, we all knew the potential. Hell, we were going to take the world by storm. And then, well, something happened between the three of us. And I'm not going to go into detail, but for personal reasons, I decided to leave the company. And I sold my share to my two partners. I took a buyout for $5,000. Now, at the time, that was a lot of money. Care to guess what the company's worth now? And to get that achievement,
Wait, how do you unlock that?
you unlock that by doing research on this game and discovering that the developer Gray Matter has been defunct since 1997 and that Walter White was probably right to take the $5,000. My next achievement.
Chico, Little Ben, Jasper.
I have two more. They're not as long as that one.
Bummer.
This one is very short. It's just a flesh wound.
God.
Complete any level as a torso.
Crossing that off my list. I had that one. Merely a flesh wound, beat a level, just a torso and a head.
Nice.
I'm invincible. Get through the game using only iframes. You're a loony. Play this game in Canada.
There you go. Wow, just cranking them out. We are of a hive mind today. And my last one is, Lieutenant Dan, what are you doing here? I'm here to try out my sea legs. But you ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. And to get that achievement, you get crushed to death by releasing the slide while trying to go under a low part in the game.
I am also going to cross off Lieutenant Dan, ain't got no legs, lose your legs, standing up in a tight space.
Maybe we should start doing round robin.
We should. So now that
I've got one achievement.
Tyler's achievements have been decimated.
The warning signs, they do nothing. Collect 50 signs.
Nice.
I love that one.
Let's see if I think all of mine are intact. All right, first one. You could learn a lot from a dummy. In order to unlock, you could learn a lot from a dummy. Don't buy this game.
Just
There
don't.
you go.
Next achievement is Whisked Away. In order to unlock Whisked Away, get a game over by getting hit by a giant fried egg launched out of a mech shaped like a giant electric whisk.
Yeah.
Happens in this game.
Yes, it does.
In between the popcorn machine enemies throwing popcorn at you and the, yeah.
This
You're
game,
fighting a guy. You're ultimately battling a guy named Junkman.
yeah,
You know, it's just cobbled together stuff.
I gotta say, man, as much as I hated the boss fights, like I really like that is like some Monster Party level. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
Sorry, I'm already dead.
yes. Next achievement, Crash. Heard that a lot.
I on YouTube, I remember what the LJ Defender was like, what is he saying?
Yeah, he couldn't figure out.
And then somebody in the comments was
saying.
like, I think it's crash.
Crash.
Giraffe.
In order to unlock Crash, hit the target at full speed in the bonus level,
Hard to
earning an
do.
extra life. I don't know if I can. I know I never did it.
never did it.
Never did it. And last achievement I got is, damn boy, he thick. That's a thick ass boy. In order to unlock, damn boy, he thick. That's a thick ass boy. Collect the airbag power up that makes you turn into a giant round balloon.
It's like my dad
fuck.
yelling at me again. Oh, it's good. Very good.
How much do you guys think this game goes for?
$14.95.
$14.95.
LJ and Defender got a complete in-box copy for $1.70 on Amazon.
Probably an insider deal.
Yeah.
You know I'm the LJ and Defender, right?
Right. $24.95.
$24.95. Actual retail value of Incredible Crash Dummies, loose, on average, according to PriceCharting.com, is, at the time of this recording, $10.84. Is it worth it?
For a collector.
I'd pay that.
Why not?
I'd pay $10.
$10.
You don't see many
I've
games
wasted
about
$10 on something. I've bought things that don't actually exist for $10.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that in itself justifies buying this game for $10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, also talking about the price reminded me of something I saw on Discord today. Monster Mold Mike posted a photograph of a boxed copy of Arrow the Acrobat. I think it was like for 45. No, I think it was like for $65 or something like that. But that's beside the point. My point is, I think that this game is better than Arrow the Acrobat.
Oh, wow. A better.
I would rather play Incredible Crash Dummies than Arrow the Acrobat.
Frustrating in different ways, yeah.
I know that's not going to be for everybody, but holy shit, Arrow the Acrobat really fucking pissed me off.
I think because I was expecting something good. Arrow the Acrobat.
Expectations definitely come into play. I didn't expect a good game from Incredible Crash Dummies.
So there you can't be let down. Or you can.
Yeah, we
Just
found out.
not as let down.
Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a beard, that sums up how you feel about it. What kind of beard would you give it?
I would give it the elastic on the ears, Dirty Mall Santa Claus beard.
I heard Dirty Maul is like Darth Maul, so I was thinking of like a Darth Maul as a mall Santa.
So because at some point, like all the limbs, you'll see that beard come off when you're not supposed to.
Nice. Oh my God! Did I tell you guys the story about the whole Santa thing with Henry
I don't think
with
so.
Mystery Science Theater 3000? There was. Sorry if I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but there's an episode of we were watching Mac and Me, the Mystery Science Theater 2000 version, and there's a joke in there. They make a joke about Santa Claus not being real. I almost like hesitated, like children were listening to this, but like I laughed and Henry laughed, and I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And then I was like, why are you laughing? And he's like, oh, because they think Santa's not real. I was like, yep.
Good ear, son.
Perfect.
Yep. Granted, this was like 2 years ago, so I don't know where he stands currently. But anyway,
That's good.
The Santa thing reminded me of that. Tyler,
Yes, Dave.
if you were to give this game a pair of glasses, that sums up how you feel about it. What kind of glasses would it be?
Those glasses you find in like Fallout 3 in New Vegas that don't actually do anything when you equip them. They don't even give you a +1 perception. They're just sort of there. That's how this game is.
Okay.
Takes up a slot.
All right.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I have, for the next game, I have a request. And it's because there are two reasons. This game came out on Nintendo Switch Online for the SNES, I think in July, and we missed it. Like, I didn't even know about it until this week. And also, I'm going to be out of town on a work trip, so it would be nice to be able to play something on the Switch.
Okay.
It's Fighter's History, which is like an infamous fighting game.
All right.
And are we good with that?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That would be awesome. It would help me out a lot instead of randomizing something that I won't be able to play until I get back.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
Let's do that.
Fighter's History.
Well, we're at a little over 2 hours, and it's 9:30. Do you want to call it, or do we want to do a community corner?
Yeah.
You got stuff to do.
Yeah, I got to finish packing, and I got a trip that I'm taking for work. So I hate missing 2 community corners in a row, but
Well, these more for next time.
yeah, that's true.
Do we have any new Patreon this week?
I think that we do, and I meant to send that to you, and I forgot.
Would you mind reading the list? Because everyone that's anyone that has increased their donation this month, or started a new donation is entered into my big toy box contest. Right now, we still only have 2 people entered. So get your donations in. By the time this airs, you will have 2 days to get it in. That's midnight in your time zone, whatever. By September the 30th, in the first episode of October, we're going to draw the winner. So, Dave, do we have any new additions to the list this week?
I believe so. We've got Cubicle Monkey.
Nice.
Who
Okay.
increased their donation.
Thanks,
Thank you,
Cubicle Monkey.
Cubicle Monkey.
Good deal. We're going to put you on the list to be drawn for some good old toys. And I have something really cool also possibly for next month's contest that's coming up. In addition to toys, we've got something special planned, I think. Hopefully it'll work out. More details on that to come.
Waffles.
Just waffles.
We're going to make them, send them to you.
I'm going to melt butter on them, put syrup all over them, and then stuff them in an envelope and
Fax
send
'em.
them to you. We're going to fax them to you. All right. But in the meantime, I am going to read our FCC mandated list of executive producers. These are the wonderful people that donate $20 or a month to the cause. Thank you guys so much for this.
Yes.
It's a big help. Every dollar counts, and we're super glad to have you guys feel that we are worthy of this. So I'm going to read that list now, starting with Cousin David Galino, Plinko Nick Price, Cubicle Monkey, Executive Producer Dig Duggy, Enthusiast Jeff Miners, Master Cycle Baron Kevin Link, Joseph Phillips, Gamebug Prime Nathan Eaton, Usurper Grimm, Matt Gentile, a.k.a. Gentle G, Princess Consuela Banana Hammock, Flavor Trek Taryn Landon, congratulations on your marriage, Pinball Archmage Chris Edler, we're sorry you couldn't be on this episode, Platinum member Brett Miller, Sandwich Pope Phil Hawkins, Nate from Utah, first-time caller, and Drinksmith Joey Webster. Thank you guys so much, and thanks to all of our donors. Everything you give us, it's just an honor that we are worthy of that from you. And hopefully, if you guys still, again, want to throw another dollar at us, increase your donation, you'll be entered to win some toys from the toy box. We'll get those announced probably next week. What else we got, guys?
Oh, thanks for listening, everybody. Find the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Not SoundCloud, Spotify, all over the place.
Let's start. I'm going to register notsoundcloud.com, okay? and we can be on there.
Yeah.
I'm going to do that right
It's
now.
free
I'm thinking
downloads.
about it. Yeah.
Free
Surely.
uploads and free downloads.
This is your Patreon dollars at work.
Surely not SoundCloud.com. is
Surely
taken.
not. I thought you were suggesting surely not SoundCloud, which will also register.
Do that too.
Absolutely not SoundCloud.com.
I feel like not SoundCloud.com is taken.
Probably. We're going to find out.
Find out.
God, fuck SoundCloud so fucking hard.
.com.
.com.
God, fuck SoundCloud.com. That's probably not taken.
Probably not. Yeah.
So next week, Fighters History.
Yeah. Okay.
So our theme song is Moose by Sycamore Drive. We'll do that track fan of the show notes at TADPOG.com. How you guys want to close this out?
To the tune of by the Crash Test Dummies.
All right.
Oh, what was the tidbit?
It was a literal tidbit that they named the band because a buddy of theirs was in medical school and their practice dummy was called the Crash Test Dummy.
Oh.
That's it.
Oh.
Wasn't anything special.
Oh, okay. You don't think they were trying to cash in on the
They
on
may
Vince
have
and Larry?
been. Look, I got to tell you, the guy sounds like if Bane were the singer. I think
I own that album.
it's a good album. Honestly,
own
there's a
that
lot of
album.
good songs that they put out. But I have trouble with his voice sometimes, and I think his diction, his enunciation is a little bit weird, the patterns that he sings in. And also, 2 of the songs on that album have to do with kids who have some kind of deformity.
Right.
And it's like, what's y'all's hang up? I get it. I get the message, but why make 2 songs that involve that? Make the song
They're
from God
bookends.
Shuffled His Feet. Make that part of that song. Just put that in along with the other 3 kids, and then you'd have a little bit longer song.
One more verse.
Once there was this kid who woke up and had blue hair, and the people made fun of him, and it was hair. The first kid in the song had white hair from being scared from the car accident. And then the
Powder.
the other song has hair, a blue hair guy. He wakes up with blue hair, and he's real happy about his blue hair until people make fun of him and say he's a freak.
And that kid,
I know a lot more about this shit than I thought I ever would. I went down a rabbit hole with them too.
That kid, Ryu from the Breath of Fire series.
was Sonic the Hedgehog.
So until next time.
Tropical Capricorn.
Sorry, not SoundCloud.com is unavailable.
Shit!
Anyway, Gage just messages me and he goes, "You didn't," because I've had a shitty week. Nothing's gone my way. He goes, "You didn't order an Elite controller for your Xbox, did you?" I'm like, "Yes, why?" He goes, "Well, man, I'm actually going to get rid of my Xbox and I have one of those and I was just going to trade you for that headset you let me have. So you can just send that back." So I get to send that thing back and I still get the controller without having to spend the money.
That's nice.
So, yeah, that's the first good thing that's happened to me this week. Sorry, I had to get that on. I had to get that. That'll be our stinger or something, I guess.
That's great. I'm glad a good thing happened.